everyone, my name is Marco Bloch, aka Jordan. I'm from Germany and I play for the team GamerLegion and I'm 30 years old. The qualifier was pretty rough, I would say, because there were two qualifiers, and the first qualifier I lost in the second or third round, and therefore I was very upset about that one. And then I went full try hard for the second qualifier, and there I was also shaky in the final round, so to say. I won 4-2 against Sebastian. Our team, GamerLegion, we played in the Berlin gaming house. We had a boot camp there and we played a lot, practiced a lot and strategized a lot, so it was very intense preparation. So the most feared opponent would be either Larry or Viper. It has to be one of those two. Viper because I feel like counters my playstyle really well, and Larry because he's a very aggressive player. Confident I would feel against players like, for example, TaToH. He's my teammate, and the reason for that is because I know him from very early on, right? So I know his playstyle very good, and my playstyle is very good against his. Always a dream opponent for me.
It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride over here for the German player, at the very least. Oh, there we go. Civilization for JorDan for game number 1 will be Sicilians. We'll see what TaToH goes for, but yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, despite the fact that they've been preparing for a while already. Like, what is it? A week? 2 weeks? I think. GL had to train in the game, you know, in the game house. And JorDan's performance in the first day was not the greatest. He did manage to do better in the second day and make it into the quarterfinals, so he's guaranteed a top 8 spot. All of these players today are, of course, but we'll see. And TaToH Civilization is coming up. Incas. Lovely. All right. Oh, it's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. We'll see if everything works all right. Let's switch over TaToH to the red color, and I think this is good. I do need though to fix this really quickly because it's not perfect just yet. It's probably something that I could try and fix perhaps for tomorrow's stream. Wait, what am I talking about tomorrow's stream? I mean the semifinals and the grand finals, but I think it's a good start. At the very least it looks pretty alright. So on the left hand side, TaToH is playing with Incas. Indeed. Let's take a look at this to see if this helps. Yeah, probably about here. This seems to be about right. For both players, we are going to have the same. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that once again. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that it looks okay. Alright. Regardless though, once again, what do we have over here? We have an opening with the Eagle Scout from TaToH. I think this should be fine, right? I'm just going to move this over to the right a little bit more. And I think this is fine. I'm just going to adjust the webcams for the semifinal and the grand final stream, but for the time being this works. So yeah, we see an opening over here with some Eagle Scouts, some archers from TaToH already starting to put some pressure around JorDan's side. He's managed to find some archers over here, while if we take a look at the left hand side, TaToH is under pressure as well. But JorDan does not have anywhere near as many units over here, and the army composition is not anywhere near enough. So JorDan will end up losing the archers on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, he's losing his army as well to TaToH's push. He loses 2 villagers already. Things are looking great for TaToH, who opens up with 2 villager kills already. Hey, B as well. Hi. I hope this is looking fine, guys. I just try to have the webcams on stream. The kind of the same style that the mainstream has it. I hope that this is fine. They haven't really said anything about that, and they do provide us with the feed, so I imagine we can do whatever we want. But yeah, it does come at a cost of not having the on-stream chat. Regardless though, Castle Age is coming up for both players already, so let's focus on the games right now. TaToH is going up to the Castle Age a little bit earlier compared to JorDan, so he's had a stronger opening, but he's also going to be the first one getting to the Castle Age, while JorDan, on the other hand, he does have a minute and 1 or 2 seconds extra to wait compared to TaToH to get to the next stage. And what can we expect to see over here? Well, Sicilians for JorDan means that he's going to have the potential for First Crusade. We have seen this technology in the past come in quite clutch, especially against a civilization that's going to focus on the same type of units Incas will go for, right? So potentially archer units, infantry units. There is no cavalry obviously available to TaToH, so it could come in quite clutch for JorDan. We'll see. And then on top of that, of course, there's a bunch of extra stuff with faster building TCs and castles. Sicilians can defend themselves pretty effectively. And TaToH, on the other hand, well, with Incas, he's making a play for Eagle Warriors. Now, unlike Mayans or Aztecs, Inca Eagles, they are not quite as strong in the sense that there is no unique technology that's going to boost them too much. Obviously, there is fabric shields, if I'm not mistaken, but that's not really going to be quite as game-changing, I would say, compared to something like Garland Wars or El Dorado, but can still be good. And in any case, it's still going to require a castle, and it's still going to be only available in the later stages. So right now, it seems like TaToH is still the one in the driver's seat. There is a second TC coming up from JorDan extremely quickly. Also helps the fact that he sent a crap ton of villagers over there. And TaToH is going to keep on roaming around. So really managed to find an extra kill when trying to deny the TC, or at the very least delay it. But yeah, all the same with the Castle Age though, that is true. And we do have slingers, which would be really good for TaToH potentially. Especially face to face, a bunch of infantry units. As such would be the case if JorDan were to go for First Crusade, of course. And then besides that, there is not much more over here to say other than just seeing how the players do. TaToH's already sending a villager forward to get a siege workshop up over here, and JorDan is on the back foot. He managed to get the second TC, and he's going for a third TC over here, so both these extra TCs are very close to each other. But the siege workshops coming up over here will be putting pressure against this one, will deny these farms permanently, not to say that JorDan will be able to go for the farms otherwise anyway, because of the Eagle Warriors from TaToH being here. But it's very interesting all the same. And good defense. JorDan takes all of TaToH's remaining archers down, and now TaToH's got just Eagle Warriors. He's got the first Mangonel coming out from the siege workshop. Fantastic. Yeah. I guess the problem with slingers is that they are kind of useless. The Sicilians don't go for some sergeant strat. You don't want to be stuck with... Yeah. It's definitely not a unit. Like, you definitely want to go for crossbows as a general range unit, unless you are specifically facing infantry units, right? So TaToH will have the option to go for it if necessary, but it's just that, if necessary. I don't think that's something we'll see necessarily right away. Nice pressure from TaToH trying to knock on JorDan's store over here in JorDan. He's going for extra houses. Yeah, and he lost one of the house foundations to the Magno shot, but he was able to get another one up just in time. And for the time being, JorDan's defending just fine. With all the crosses over here and the TCs, plus the dungeon that he's just built, he's able to hold on against the Eagles, but very soon TaToH is going to get to the point where Eagles will be so strong, the numbers are going to be so high, especially now that he already has chain mail armor, that he'll be able to just come in, dive in, surround these crossbows, potentially get a complete cleanup. So he's trying still to come in, right? So he's not going after the extra TCs on the right hand side. He's just gonna keep on going after the main one. And there's another dungeon coming in from JorDan. And the defense over here is good. He doesn't have losing one villager, but if the dungeon comes up, that might just be enough at the very least to push the Magnals away in. He can prevent the Magnals from putting pressure against the villagers over here. It's very unlikely TaToH will be able to just break through with Eagle Warriors alone. So the dungeon over here saves JorDan for the time being. JorDan's collecting stone quite heavily. He's managed to get 2 dungeons. He's got the stone wall coming up on the right hand side, reaching close to the dungeon as well. Beautiful. Then up in the north, there's an extra TC coming in over here for Mr. TaToH. That's the second TC he's going for right now, but he's already been falling behind in worker count. This has been on purpose, by the way. This has been by choice from TaToH. Falling behind in economy means that he does invest all his resources, or up until this point anyway, until he gets a second TC up, towards military production instead, and that's what allowed him to put so much pressure against JorDan. But so far, he's been unable to do too much. Yes, 9 villager kills is nothing to really sneeze at, is very significant damage, but JorDan has had the extra TCs for quite a while already, and he's managed to still, despite the 9 villager losses he's taken, to get ahead in worker count by about 17 extra workers right now, sorry. You know what, TaToH on the other hand is gonna start going for some slingers right now. And JorDan's got a defensive castle on the way right next to the dungeon over here. Should the dungeon fall to the Magnals, the castle's going to stay up and will prevent TaToH from putting pressure from the south anymore. And then on the right hand side, I guess that's where TaToH is going to be headed next. Doesn't really have too much of a choice in that regard. He's gotta get past the dungeon first though, and JorDan's still collecting stone, but does not have enough stone miners to get another castle up anytime soon, so let's take a look at this. Here comes JorDan. That's a lot of Eagles. He's completely ignoring the TCs in the dungeon, because once again, once he gets past a critical number of units, he can't get away with just ignoring this. He can go after the crossbows, and he's going after it, so the dungeons fall in. The crossbows are getting completely slapped by the Eagle Warriors. Absolutely great performance over here from TaToH. And great patience as well. You gotta hand it to him. Not to have that, you know, not to dive in right away. And waited until he had enough numbers to actually go for it. So now we see some slingers over here. And we have some sergeants from JorDan. And the moment the castle came up, or the moment the castle was starting to come up, we saw TaToH already halfway through his transition to slingers, and now of course with the extra TCs that JorDan went for, there is a possibility for First Crusade already. Even if it's just 4 TCs, that's still going to result in 28 sergeants and of course slingers over here. He's not invested too heavily into this, so it's not a huge investment, and it's already going to kind of safeguard his army already against whatever JorDan can go for in this position. So far, the Bull player has managed to hold on to his DCs. He does not have a 50C just yet to go for First Crusade and fully utilize the upgrade. He's still ahead in worker count though, but it's by only about 10 extra workers compared to TaToH. It's not a huge lead anymore. Faster castle construction is such a clutch bonus for Sicilians. Love it. Yeah. Yeah. 40C is on the way now for TaToH on the left hand side as well. So let's take a look. JorDan's got almost enough resources to go for another castle himself, so I guess we would probably see it come up around here, I guess. Yeah, most likely. There we go. The castle's coming up right there. Absolutely fantastic. He's gotta be careful though. There's 4 mountains over here and a lot of Eagle Warriors. Once again, 100% faster building time for... Yeah, Sicilian's coming in clutch. The castle comes up and he ends up taking 3 out of 4 mountains down, pushing TaToH away and still holding on to his worker lead now for gather economy time. On the other hand though, we have a little bit higher gather economy time for TaToH, which is remarkable and just goes to show how strong his push has been so far. Up in the north, there's a counter push coming in from JorDan. He's got some sergeants here. Doesn't seem to me like he should be able to do too much damage against TaToH anyway, though. I guess we'll find out. There we go, taking a look up north. Yeah, so far, JorDan hasn't really been able to do much of anything with these sergeants. Turns are sturdy, but they are hardly a raiding unit. Should JorDan consider cavalry switch? Both players are going out to the Imperial Age right now, and cavalry would certainly be interesting from JorDan, but it wouldn't be a one, you know, it wouldn't be a bulletproof unit to go for, as TaToH does get access to Halberdier with all the upgrades as well, and even Kamayuks are so strong against cavalry as well. Although JorDan does get extra armor if he does go for Halberd, it's going to be a substantial investment for him to make the transition, so I think it's alright for him to keep on playing defensive over here. Of course, right now, it's not really going to be about what JorDan's going to produce for military because he's been playing defensive, but very soon it's going to be the case that he's going to start going for military units. When that happens, yeah, cavalry could justify the cost, especially with a higher worker count that he's got right now. And if you're in JorDan's point of view, you probably expect to be ahead in worker count. You probably expect to have a substantial villager lead. Now we know better. We know that's not the case. We know that TaToH's been able to keep up for the most part extremely well, but JorDan, you know, from his point of view, has been able to defend himself really well, and he's gone for the extra TCs earlier. He's probably expecting to have a stronger economy, so maybe he's gonna decide to make the switch for cavalry, and he does have scale, Barden armor, and bloodlines on the way. But yeah, definitely would work against both the Slingers and the Eagle Warriors, at the very least until TaToH eventually makes a transition or starts adding a few pikemen into the mix. But there's a castle already for TaToH down the south. He's got the second castle on the way. And he's gotten to the Imperial Age, that is, a little bit earlier, so that means he's got the Trebuchet already queued up. It's gonna be the first one to put pressure, so with 2 castles over here, should be able to go for 2 trebuchets at a time, at the very least, once the second castle finishes building. But JorDan, on the other hand, he already has both castles up, but he cannot really kill the trebuchets from both at a time. Does not have the goal right now. Pikeman upgrades coming in for TaToH. The preemptive switch, though, or complement. He's going for pikemen, even though I don't think he's seen the cavalry yet. Has he? It's in the back. Yeah, I don't think he's seen the cavalry yet. But he's just making a preemptive switch over here. He's having a preemptive pikeman because he's expecting JorDan to make a transition for cavalry, given once again the army composition from TaToH is acceptable to cavalry, as it is right now. And we see the Halberdier upgrade coming in, and TaToH he's gonna have to start going for the units right now after he gets completely wiped up over here. Cavalier and Play Barden armors on the way as JorDan cleans out the army from TaToH up in the north successfully. Down the south, the Treb War is already commencing. It seems like it's actually going to favor TaToH. He's got 3 trebuchets, and JorDan's got 2 only. To be fair though, Jordan's got the defender's advantage over here, so he should be able to repair the castle significantly faster compared to TaToH. So TaToH's probably going to end up losing the castles over here. He might end up taking Jordan's down as well, but he's not going to be able to keep his own castles out. So now let's take a look. Here comes the Cavalier from JorDan. Straight into the Eagle Warriors. Straight into the Slingers. But the numbers are not the highest. He's going to dive in though. He's going after the trebuchets. He's trying to get the castle up. And he's just run out of stone. So I think the castle's crumbling anyway. And yes, the castle goes down from JorDan. Even though he dove and he was able to get 2 out of 3 trebs and make that 3 out of 3 trebs. 1 treb comes out at the same time for TaToH. But that was really, really good for JorDan. For TaToH anyway, sorry. And JorDan could not keep the castle up. Although he does manage to get the castle down from TaToH as well. And yeah, once again, TaToH cannot really keep his own castles up. But it's not going to be quite as bad, right? If TaToH loses castles over here, it does not matter. These are 4 castles. It matters probably for trebuchet production or potentially even for Kamayuk production if he was ever to go for that. But for the most part, losing these castles doesn't really expose his economy. While losing the castle over here on the right-hand side is extremely, extremely bad for JorDan, as now his economy is going to be wide open. A Halberdier on the right-hand side already start putting some pressure against the Cavalier. And even trying to get the raids going over here. Now TaToH's units are not the best for raiding for sure, but you know, it's still going to take the villages down if they are not protected. Once again, JorDan dives in, manages to get the trebuchet down. But now that we have Halberdier into the mix from TaToH, JorDan's matchup over here is all of a sudden a lot harder to deal with. There we go. It's good though. JorDan does manage to clean out the units from TaToH for the most part, who's gonna keep on trying to send the Halberdier forward. And he might end up getting the castle down over here. This is just the first step. There's so much that JorDan's gotta do to take this game. And yeah, this is just the first step. He's gotta take the castle down. We take a look up in the north. There's a 4 castle coming in for the blue players, so 1 more shot. And the castle goes down over here just at the same time. Oh, 1 more shot actually. There we go, 1 more shot. And the castle does go down over here. This is just at the same time as JorDan eventually gets pushed away from the castle foundation by Halberdier. Now he's probably going to end up losing the trebuchet. So there we go. He does get the castle down. He gets the castle up forward himself up in the north. And now it's JorDan time to counter strike. He's got some sergeants coming up. He's got sergeants queued up as well. And at this point in time, he's already on 5 DCs. Could very well go for First Crusade. I don't think he's gone for it just yet, has he? Let me take a look, because if he's already gone for it, I missed it. Nope, he's not gone for First Crusade yet. Another castle on the way for JorDan, a defensive one this time around. And plate mail armor, blast furnace and plate mail armor on the way, so now he might go for it. He's got the infrastructure already in place. For anybody who doesn't know, First Crusade is the Castle Age unique technology that Sicilians get access to through the castle. That gives them 8 sergeants, actually 7 sergeants, sorry, per TC, up to 5 TC. So, because JorDan's got 5 TCs right now, going for First Crusade will give him immediate access to 35 sergeants. Plate mail armor is here already for +3/+4 defenses for infantry units. So JorDan's sergeants are completely upgraded. Well, not really. He could still go for elite, but these are as upgraded as they can be in terms of blacksmith upgrades, in terms of armor, in terms of attack. Like cavalry is coming in right now, as well as masonry. For stronger cavalry and stronger buildings as well. That is a lot of slingers that TaToH is sticking to, by the way. He's just decided to stick to the unit. Even though we do not really have much of anything from JorDan coming up in terms of infantry. At the very least, not too much anyway. I think that TaToH has seen, but he's probably expecting. He's probably expecting First Crusade to come up. Especially now that JorDan's going for elite sergeants. First Crusade is basically a no-brainer after he gets the elite sergeant upgrade. As it just boosts his economy, or actually it boosts his military so much. And now TaToH is gonna be the one going for this is career actually, Andean Sling, sorry, right? Andean Sling coming in for TaToH makes the minimum range disappear for skirmishers and for slingers as well. So now they're gonna be more effective even at point blank range. There's a lot of military for TaToH over here still left in the south though. And JorDan's playing defensive. Meanwhile, First Crusade is about to finish researching, and there we go! All the sergeants are coming out from JorDan. He's got it, and he's gonna march forward through the north. He's playing defensive down the south. Oh yeah, career is the old name for fabric shields. Yeah, I talked about fabric shields earlier today in this game, but still get confused with about it from time to time. Same as Corvinian army and mercenaries, right? But yeah, up in the north, that's a lot of cavalier coming in. JorDan will dive in once again. He's going to get trebuchets down. This is not the first time that he's gone for this. Probably won't be the last, and so far he's gotten away with it for the most part. Every time he's tried to go after the trebuchets, and now this one, it seems like he's not gonna be able to take down, as he loses all the cavalier to the halberdier over there. I'm very sure that JorDan was not paying too much attention. He was probably paying attention down the south over here, where he's about to lose his castle. And the castle crumbles from JorDan. TaToH can march forward from the south. Meanwhile, JorDan can march forward from the north with all the sergeants he's just gotten from First Crusade. And players will begin the base trade. Castle crumbles right now as well for TaToH. This could very well be a race to the bottom, you would think. But at this point in time, population is pretty healthy for both these guys, with JorDan on 200 population. And TaToH, on the other hand, not so much. Down the south, all the pressure from TaToH still continues. With all the defenses he's got for the trebuchets, with the halberdier, with the slingers, it seems like his push is not really going to be stopped anytime soon. But then at the same time, up in the north, JorDan still has a similar kind of push going with the trebuchets. He's got 3 over here. He's got plenty of sergeants still to work with. And the slingers are doing really, really well from TaToH, but they are not going to be enough, as the sheer number of units JorDan has to work with up in the north allows him to keep on pushing through, despite the fact that the slingers are there from TaToH. So there's a dungeon coming up over here. Seems like JorDan's gonna start trying to get some map control through some fortifications up in the north. And down the south, TaToH's push is still very strong. He does manage to get down the castle and the TC from JorDan, but does not have enough map control over here just yet to prevent JorDan from bouncing back up if he eventually gets pushed away. For that, he's going to need to either towers himself or go for extra castles. But right now, it's going to be a tall order, of course, given the fact that he's under so much pressure himself, and this is just an incredible game so far. And I think that might have been a trebuchet cut over here from JorDan. This should go down over here. Where are the halberdier though? Where are the halberdier from TaToH? Did he bring those back? I think he brought those back. He brought the halberdier back, so now the trebuchets down the south are exposed, and the light cavalry go after one. They go after the next two, and it seems like this might be the end of the push for TaToH. 2 trebuchets, 3 trebuchets down the ground already. 1200 resources. Lost value from TaToH over there, but bringing the halberdier back to the north means that at the very least he's able to put a stop to JorDan's push. He even is able to take down the dungeon. And basically the game kind of stabilizes once again. Population still a little bit higher for JorDan by about 20, as it was the case from before as well. And TaToH's population is not quite as good, but he does have a lot of production coming in. Extra archery range is on the way from JorDan. The schedule is updated for today as well, so we have for game number 1, or for the first series, TaToH versus JorDan. And then there's going to be Vileza versus Mr. Yo, Hera versus MBL, and the final one will be the Viper versus Leary. So all the sets for today are mental, but the last two will be absolutely out of this world. At the very least, that's the expectation, right? We had an incredible set between Hera and MBL last time around, and of course Leary and the Viper is a set worth of the grand finals already, so we'll see what we get. Everywhere you take a look at right now, the blinking dots are surrounding red areas of the map. So JorDan is not under too much pressure anymore, and TaToH's trying to get back up to about 200 population, but for the time being it's not going to be possible for him. It's not going to be the case. The resources from JorDan are looking pretty good though. 66 farmers, he's got so many light cavalry queued up. Meanwhile, TaToH on the other hand is gonna get to 200 population very soon, but he does not have anywhere near as many units queued up. So at this point in time, JorDan's got 15 light cavalry queued up plus 3 skirmishers, that's 18 units. Meanwhile, TaToH on the other hand, he's got 8 Eagle Warriors. His first foray into Eagle Warrior ever since he made the transition away from them in the Imperial Age. So it's 8 Eagle Warriors that he's gonna be adding to his ranks, which currently have 0. And he's getting to 200 population very soon. He's got some housing issues right now with 195 population cap, so he needs to go for extra houses. But yeah, TaToH for the most part will be able to stabilize it, even though he was putting so much pressure against JorDan earlier. Now JorDan's definitely the one in the driver's seat. Let's take a look at the goal situation. There is... wow, only 2 golds left available actually. There's this one over here that TaToH's collecting from, worth about 1,000 gold. There is about 1,000 gold left over there. And then JorDan's got the rest of the gold over here available towards the south, although TaToH's gonna try to prevent JorDan from collecting the rest of it. This one has about 3 times as much gold left in it compared to the gold that TaToH's collecting from on the left hand side. So JorDan is able to stabilize over here and prevent TaToH from pushing the villagers away. He should be in a much better position in that regard. Once those 2 golds run out though, TaToH's on 4 relics and JorDan's on 1. Fight Cherishes marching on from JorDan. TaToH's gonna have to switch gears into full defense mode. Because yeah, don't think he's got much of a choice over here, does he? Probably doesn't too much. Light cavalry are coming in. Some Cherry left over here from TaToH and JorDan. JorDan's going for Halberg. So we'll see a transition to Cavalier again by the looks of it. He's got just 5 right now. And it wouldn't make sense for him to go for Halberg if he's not going to start going for Cavalier again. So notice, there's going to be a power move from JorDan. There's going to be a killing blow. Now that he's got momentum, now that he's free enough, now that he's got some population space free up again, he might be able to start going for the Cavalier. But for the time being, he's not really queuing them up. So he's gone for the upgrade, but he's not really going for the units anymore. They're already fully upgraded in terms of blacksmith upgrades. We already have plate, bar, and armor. Yes. We have blast furnace, halberd, and cavalier, but he's not going for it yet. Still though, TaToH seems to be getting cornered over here by the minute. dropping population, going down to 150 at this point in time. While JorDan's momentum instead continues up in the north, down the south. He's gonna keep on pushing. He's got skirmishers for the most part. That's not going to work against Eagle Warriors, of course. So TaToH will clean this up as long as that's the only unit available to JorDan down the south. And then up in the north, on the other hand, we see more like cavalry coming in. So why would JorDan go for Halberg if he's not gonna make a transition again to Cavalier? He's got 55 farmers. It shouldn't be too difficult, especially with all the light cavalry he had queued up before. If he canceled those and made the transition to Cavalier, he would have been in a much better spot already. But I guess he's just respecting the Halberdier from TaToH at this point. And that is true. JorDan did get crop rotation this game, and because Sicilians get 200% food boost from each farm upgrade as opposed to your standard amount, or 100% more food as opposed to your standard amount, his farms are just going to be eternal, right? And he's got plenty of farmers. Let's see if he's going to seed 1 over here by the looks of it. Is he? I just want to see if he's seeding 1 at all. He's not. He's not. I'm just gonna have to keep on monitoring to see whenever he's going to reseed 1. Because I'm not really sure exactly how much food each one's. Oh, there we go. He's going for 1 over here. Well, not just yet. But he just built this one. Not quite. He doesn't seem to have paid attention to the north economy too much, but it doesn't matter. 91 villages from JorDan though. 925? Yeah, that sounds about right. Hot damn, man. And yeah, you know what? JorDan's villager count is not the highest right now. His military production is not the highest either. He's going pretty heavily into villagers once again. And TaToH is, you know, on the lead right now on 200 population. He's got more Eagle Warriors roaming around to get more raids going. And yeah, it's unbelievable that TaToH was able to get himself to this position once again. Now the thing though is, TaToH has already run out of gold over here where we took a look at earlier. While JorDan on the other hand, he got pushed away from the south gold by TaToH. To be fair, this gold is going to have less than 1,000 left available. So TaToH's relics right now are going to come in quite clutch. He's got crop rotation coming in right now as well, TaToH that is. And the relics that he's been able to get 4-1 compared to JorDan will certainly allow him to go for a lot more gold units compared to what's available to JorDan after he effectively runs out of gold. At this point in time, JorDan's army is going to consist of 52 sergeants, 11 light cavalry, and a few skirmishers and cavalier that are probably not really worth discussing too much. While TaToH on the other hand, he's gonna be the one with an insane production potential at this point in time. What is this? Unbelievable. A very long game to kickstart the day with as well. Could be the first long game for a very long series today. JorDan's catching up. One more time. And there we go. The game has stabilized once again for the most part. Still have some halberdier from TaToH roaming around and putting pressure, but not too much. It seems like this game might end up just coming down to score victory. And the score is currently a little bit higher for TaToH. And who would have thought a few minutes ago, when JorDan was so dominating, the TaToH was gonna be able to clutch his way back into this one. But now he's got the score lead. He's got 200 population. He's basically locked at 200 population. He's got a lot of units queued up still. So even if he loses a few over here, it's gonna be back. And JorDan, well, JorDan's getting pushed back down the south. Once again, the relics from TaToH will sustain a much stronger gold income compared to JorDan's relics. So JorDan's bringing the trebuchet over here. He's got to be extremely careful with his units, as after all, he cannot really afford to replenish these too much. TaToH doing random text as well. Yeah, he's got the arrow slits, stone shaft mining. This is a quite common tactic to try and boost score as well. And in this situation, actually, it does make a lot of sense. We have only 13 more minutes to go before the game is over, and the victory goes to whoever has the highest score. So TaToH, he was able to survive this game really well, despite the fact that he was under so much pressure earlier. And JorDan, well, JorDan's gotten back to 200 population once again. But he's still behind by about 1,000 score. He's gonna try and get a castle down over here, and he should be able to. He should be able to. He's gonna get access to this gold once again, but as we already stated before, it does not really have too much gold left. So the castle crumbles over here. JorDan gets a few points from that, but it's not going to be enough. Still behind by about 900 points. He's gonna have to keep on marching forward and getting more and more damage done. At the center, by the way, the tower from TaToH already pushed JorDan away from this wood, but of course there's plenty extra to be had over here, and JorDan's not going to be constrained because of it too much. 5 trebuchets from JorDan. This could be enough. This might be enough for him to get the score lead over here if he's able to defend the trebs. Because I'll tell you what, the units that JorDan's got right now are more than enough for him to defend this with a very good KD, right? So if TaToH just brings Halberdier, he won't be able to get past this. If he brings the slingers, JorDan's got the skirmishers over here. So with good unit control, JorDan should be able to protect the trebuchets and just keep on boosting his score by just destroying buildings. So TaToH instead, he has Magnus on the way. He's gone for onagers. Or he's gone for the onager upgrade. At the very least, he was going for it. Wait, did he cancel it? No. There we go. Onagers here. And he's got guard tower coming up right now. So yes, a big engagement is taking place. This might be the last one that we see, depending on whether or not the players will commit to it, but it seems like they won't, and in the end, it seems like JorDan will end up taking a few losses over here, a little bit too many from the slingers, especially considering the fact that these are gold units. It's going to be more cost effective for TaToH. And still, the red player on 900 extra score compared to JorDan. And despite all the pressure coming from the bull player, he simply cannot catch up. He simply cannot catch up. This is coming down to the wire, guys. 2 siege workshops on the way from JorDan up in the north. I'm not really sure there was enough time. I guess there's still about 10 minutes left. And boy, oh boy, the level of focus for both these players at this point in time is just incredible. Hey, Alan. Hi, hi. Hey, this is the first time that I see the artist icon next to somebody's name. Alan is the guy that makes the emotes for the channel. So if you like the emotes from this channel, Alan is the responsible, the responsible one. All right, we see onager on the way now for JorDan as well. How on earth is he ever able to afford onager? It's probably because he's gotten access to the gold once again down the south, right? Anyway, onager, Capram is coming in. Did he cancel it? I think he might have canceled it. Take a look at the resources from JorDan though. 4,400 food and going higher. He's still 900 points behind though. He's tried everything. He's gone for the upgrades. He's tried to get the push going. He simply could not catch up. How does one get the artist tag? Is it on this channel only or is it global? No, it's for this channel only. It's channel specific. I gave it to him by hand. Which sounds a lot dirtier than it is. But anyway, nice push from JorDan. A lot of slingers over here still from TaToH though, so JorDan's gotta be careful. And he's been so far out, he cannot catch up. 1,000 points. Higher score for TaToH. Slingers are getting a little bit out of position over here though. And now there is a counter raid coming up on the right hand side. TaToH's push might be enough to prevent JorDan from ever catching up. He's getting villagers, while JorDan instead, he's getting buildings and he's getting military units. Now we'll see though. Actually, the score lead is reduced significantly. 400 extra points for TaToH. This is going down to the wire. 59 years left. The raids are coming up from JorDan everywhere. He's got light cavalry up in the north. He's got a cavalier over here left as well. Some sergeants coming in through the north, pushing TaToH's villages away. On the right-hand side, TaToH's going for his own raids with the halberdier. Getting a lot of damage down over here, but still crumbling in population compared to JorDan. JorDan's push is incredible. 181 population compared to 154. It seems like TaToH's gonna start to crumble and JorDan takes the score lead. TaToH's possibilities in this game are not looking quite as good anymore. While he was able to keep the score lead for so long, right now there's a lot more damage happening around TaToH's side of the map. A lot of extra blinking dots on the left-hand side of the map over here compared to JorDan's side. And it seems like this might just be the end of it. We might not need to wait for the time limit over here, as there is simply no way for TaToH to catch back up over here, is there? Well, he's only 500 points behind, but score is switching. TaToH's gonna keep on trying just a little bit more. It's just too much, so much effort so far for this to be the end. It's not going to be, by the way. We still have more games to go for this. The best of 5 series. But so far, it's certainly looking like it's going to go in favor of JorDan. As a matter of fact, 76 population versus 127 right now for TaToH. We have a 50 population lead for JorDan. And he manages to increase the score lead a little bit further. Yeah, and it seems like it's going to be the end of it. Well, this is a hopeless position for TaToH right now. There's only 1 minute and 40 seconds left. And honestly, if JorDan is to just bail from here, if he's just to retreat with all his units, he's going. He's good for the rest of the game. He's managed to get already the score lead. So TaToH calls GG over here. And there we go. TaToH won, JorDan nil. There's a little bit of delay, of course, in the player feed. The webcam view over here, but you can see the TaToH's calling it right now, and that's going to be the end of it. So let's go through the achievements really quickly before taking a look at game number 2 potentially. So what do we get? For military, we're going to have a nice KD for JorDan. The end's going to be about 11 to 10. We see for economy as well, stronger economy for JorDan. He ended up collecting about 2,000 extra resources. That is not a lot, especially considering the total amount of resources both players gathered throughout the game today. For society, on the other hand, there's a very nice villager lead over here for JorDan for the villager max count, but it's going to be very small as well, actually, so maybe not quite as nice. Only 4 extra villagers for the villager max count. As for how many villagers the players had at the end of the game, though, TaToH went down to 54 villagers, JorDan went down to 83 villagers. That's going to represent a much larger villager loss for TaToH, or perhaps not even that much, just a few extra dozen, I guess. And yeah, that's going to be about it for game number 1. Now, before we jump into game number 2, crap, I wanted to fix the webcam view, but I guess we're gonna have to wait. I'm just going to queue up for...
Yes, thanks, boys. Standing by here with Viper, and my goodness me.
Interview.
Just give the players a chance to sort of reset and take a bit of a break. And I thought in the meantime we could talk to you about some of the stuff that we saw. The longest game that we've had so far. Before we get into, obviously, you watching 2 of your teammates duke it out like that, tell us about the experience of these hugely long post-imp games, because I know you've played your fair share of them.
Yeah, obviously long games are like, I mean, this game is very special as well in Empire Wars because we have the time limit. So as the game starts dragging on, you have to start thinking about how do I artificially increase my score to as much as I can. Because
that's the tiebreaker if it goes to time, yeah.
If it goes to time, you highest score win. And we saw TaToH doing that. He started doing all these researches that he didn't really need them. But he was, yeah, exactly. they keep doing these researches to increase their score. And yeah, it's obviously it's a feel like it's getting towards the time limit. That's where you have to really reset and decide, do I actually want to keep pushing? Do I just want to sit back? Do I want to take it slow in order to not give your opponent a chance to take the score?
And I guess a lot of that comes down to civs as well. When you're wanting to have those trash wars, not in the sense that these units are bad, but in the sense they don't cost any gold. Because TaToH was cut off from gold, he was using the market to try to, keep up production. And a lot of the time it will come down to the Civ as to who has the upper hand. But there we saw these two players were going at it for a very long time.
Yeah, and also Sicilians, Incas are, like there's a lot of mind games going on, let's say, between these two players. And these two Civs are not Civs we see too often, right? And then we have both of them thrown in and they go to the post-Imperial Age. So I think both players didn't really know exactly how to play it, right? So we see them kind of juggling back and forth between compositions. And that's also where it's like, that's what's the beauty of RTS, right? You have to make the decisions on the spot and figure out what's the right composition here. And I think if I would have liked to see TaToH try full camo ukes, maybe, because Sicilians are really hard. Even if you have counter units, Sicilians just, they don't take the same amount of damage, so they have a lot of potential to kind of play around that. And JorDan did that phenomenally.
He did a great job. Ordinarily, this is the time in the interview that I'd ask you, you know, who are you going for, who are you looking for? But of course, these are both GL boys. I'm not going to ask you to pick between them, but Viper, one thing's for certain, we're going to see incredible games in the rest of the series.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Viper, thanks so much for your time. Looks like we're going to be able to head back to our feature match area for the next game, so strap yourselves in, my friends. We're just getting started.
All right, we know the civilization for game number 2 already coming in from JorDan will be Bengalis, and TaToH on the other hand, let's see what we get. Apparently tomorrow there's going to be a birthday party, the official live broadcast for the 25th anniversary of the franchise, so keep that in mind. Okay, Dravidians for TaToH. Fantastic mini Urumi swordsman over there. But yeah, Dravidians coming in for him. So it's going to be Bengalis versus Dravidians, 2 new civilizations. If the series goes this long, the people will probably need to renew their visas. Yeah. Yeah, fair point. True, true. Urumi swordsman looks like Riley because of the mustache. Right. There we are. Game number 2 is here, so what do we get? Gonna switch TaToH over to the red color once again, and Bengalis versus Dravidians. This is a very interesting matchup. Now, Bengalis, we have seen a few times already in the tournament in the past. They are a very good civilization. They are going to get 2 additional villagers upon reaching a new age from the TC. They're going to have also 15 HP regeneration per minute on ships, and in addition to that, they will also get what is it, 25% less bonus damage, I think, that the elephants take, which is very interesting for sure. Meanwhile, JorDan on the other hand, TaToH on the other hand, he's playing with Dravidians. And by the way, what is this? It's 1-0 in favor of JorDan, my bad. But yeah, on the other hand, TaToH will get instead with his civilization 200 additional wood from the get-go. And then 200 additional wood each time that he moves on to the next stage. So that's pretty good. JorDan doing some mighty early wall in there like a proper clown. Yeah, it's gonna be a case for TaToH as well. We have seen this be the case for the most part. The guys have been going for the walls pretty early on. And we have a little bit of military production over here. Mainly in... yeah, Navy production, right? So now just give me 1 second. It seems like we need to fix the webcam over there. I just realized that there is 1 extra pixel on the right, too many. So let's just do that. And let me do the same as well for TaToH. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Regardless though. Oh, a London's coming in from JorDan. So game number 2 will start with a bang as well. The castle age is on the way for both these guys. And the sneaky villager from JorDan seems like he's going to get away. already with a forward stable. Yes, he got it. On the left-hand side, there's a little bit of pressure coming in from TaToH. This is a very standard opening, by the way. We have seen pretty much every player go for something like this at some point in the tournament. Just go for a few archers, open up with that, go for the transfer ship, and then roam around and try to get some damage down, right? Just try to transport the units and try to get some damage down. So far, it doesn't seem like it's going to do too much from TaToH. And this seems very, very interesting. So JorDan will be in the castle age a little bit later compared to TaToH, but it's just going to be 2 seconds, so not too much of a difference at all. I want to see sea elephants from the Dravidians. I've been hoping to see the unique unit from the Dravidians, but we haven't seen them so far, for the most part. So yeah, Castle Age is here for both these guys, and TaToH's realized about JorDan, and JorDan's quick walls coming in just in time will allow him to get the monastery up. Now, notice that TaToH, because he already had an archer range, he could potentially go for archers over here, but because he's going for crossman right now, he's kind of stuck, and he cannot go for an archer fast enough to prevent JorDan from getting the monastery up. So the monastery is coming up over here no matter what. Anything else after that is going to be a little bit trickier, because of course TaToH might go for crossbows back home, but JorDan with the stable over here could potentially make a play also for, you know, cavalry himself and defend his villager against potential archers, and maybe go for a siege workshop or something else over here. So it's going to be a matter whether or not JorDan can sustain that. However, though, while JorDan's getting away with the landing on the right hand side, there is a landing coming up from TaToH on the left, and he's managed to get a siege workshop up. Doesn't really have the means to defend it just yet. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, if we saw a siege workshop coming in from JorDan, that would be after he got the chunker out, and he could potentially even go for monks over here to protect the villager, right? But on the left hand side, TaToH doesn't really have anything to protect any siege with, so he's got to go for something else. Let's check. Beautiful. I know it's just a poor version of the Mighty Tortuga, but it's still, I still like the Tirisdai. Yeah, the unique ship. I really wish we would see it more. But yeah. Outpost on the way. This is really good. The outpost coming up over here. This is a fantastic position. JorDan's TC is getting denied by the Magnet from TaToH, and now JorDan will realize about the pressure coming out from the north, and because of the outpost coming up over here, TaToH will soon realize about the lumberjacks over here, and we could very well see for the red player potentially a tower come up around this area, right next to where he had this. So there's that. The right hand side, we have the chunker coming in. David underneath the TC, he cannot really do too much just yet. Yeah, and there's an extra TC coming up for JorDan on the left hand side, but this one is going down. If he does not delete it, he's going to lose the resources. JorDan? Yeah, he lost it. He does not have the stone anymore. Very nice pressure though. From TaToH still does end up getting a few fishing ships. And he's going to get the score lead right now, so yeah. It was not the case before, but he will get it over there. Meanwhile, JorDan's getting one dock over here. In terms of Navy, neither player is really committed too heavily into it. JorDan has the most Navy currently at 5 fire ships. But that's about it. And notice that JorDan's going straight past the TC with the elephant just after the woodline, and TaToH's reaction over here is a little bit too late. He could have gotten a quick wall, of course. Yeah, and the chunker doesn't like getting the spearman down. Oh man, you gotta love it. The single chunker over here doing so much damage, going after the crossbows. In the end, it'll get cleaned up, but it was pretty good. And now that JorDan's got the siege workshop over here, the pressure is going to be much better, of course. But on the left hand side, this pressure from TaToH is coming in quite strong as well with 3 magnets already. He doesn't have the team 1 though, as JorDan had just researched Redemption a few moments ago. And the villager goes down for TaToH. This is huge! Without the villager, he cannot keep on putting pressure anymore. And check this defense from JorDan. Absolutely fantastic. Gets 2 out of the 3 magnets down. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, of course, he still has potential for pressure over here. He could get some momentum. I think he still has a villager alive somewhere. Let's see. I think he does. Yes, he brought the villager over the left-hand side to get a house over there. But yeah, TaToH's push over here should end up getting pretty much denied. Should be the case anyway. That was not the best reaction from JorDan, unfortunately, and he ends up losing a few villagers. And now TaToH on the right-hand side, to prevent JorDan from doing too much with his own push, gets a castle. Or goes for a castle. There we go. Conversion's coming in against the Scorpion. Gets the conversion. Takes the mantle down. And the TC will come up over here. So what do we have left? In the end, both players push will end up getting denied. On the right hand side by the castle from TaToH. And on the left hand side by the shaft, I guess, from JorDan. And the game stabilizes. We do have a little bit of a higher villager count or worker count right now for TaToH though. So that should be better for him to potentially get into the Imperial Age earlier. To potentially try and contest the center a little bit sooner as well. And yeah, the game's pretty much stabilized at this point. There we go. Big issue I see is the theater control in the water. It's darn hard to steal it back from civilization with fully open water tree and insanely good water unique unit. We'll see. See about that. If JorDan plays his cards right, he could potentially take advantage of the HP regeneration at the very least until the upgrades get too out of hand. But for the time being, for instance, TaToH has not made a play for the center just yet. He's going after the monks. He's gonna be able to get one down, I think. Wow, conversions over there were not too bad. He ends up getting 2 crossbows converted, but he will end up losing all the monks, so it was definitely not worth it for JorDan. And it's been pretty difficult. It's been pretty difficult for the Bull player to keep on putting pressure over here. In the end, he does hold on over here by healing the monks up. After all, JorDan's archers were not particularly strong. He does not have... Or TaToH's archers were not particularly strong, sorry. He does not have Balking Arrow, for instance. But he will still end up getting the monks down. There we are. Yeah, good unit control over here from TaToH. Yeah, the extra armor paying off. So no Balking Arrow, extra armor. It's beautiful. For JorDan, and he's not really going for much navy at all. As a matter of fact, how many docks do we have for JorDan? He's got 2 docks. Yeah, I don't know about that, Chief. TaToH, on the other hand, he does have navy production coming up still. And the red player instead, compared to JorDan, he's on 3 docks. It's not a huge lead. Of course, 50% is very substantial, but it's not something that's going to be too difficult for JorDan to offset for, right? He can just go for extra docks himself, and it's not going to be too expensive. It's not a situation where one player has got, you know, 6, 7 docks, and the other player does not have a single one. So, TaToH is looking stronger, yes, for sure. JorDan could potentially make a play for water himself, but he's been 7 resources. And both players will be on the way to the Imperial Age very soon. Now, TaToH, he's decided to go for the second castle down south in the little corner of the island over here, which is a very interesting location for the castle because this is going to provide a choke point, and it's going to provide a fantastic position for TaToH to take engagements on water as well by making use of the castle over there. And in the end, JorDan doesn't seem like he'll be able to make use of the siege workshop over here anymore too much. And he does have a 1 villager castle coming up. He does transport a few more of those. That's going to be 5 villagers going after the castle. which is very interesting. He's gonna salvage also the relic that he managed to get on TaToH's side of the map, so that's going to give JorDan 3 relics, and he's going for an additional one. The one at the center over here, so that's going to be actually 4 relics for JorDan and TaToH. Well, TaToH's gonna have to get access to the center if he wants to sustain gold income into the later stages of the game, of course. Imperial Age is on the way for JorDan, and Imperial Age is on the way for TaToH as well. Extra TC. Third TC for TaToH. So far, he's been able to stay ahead in working count despite the fact that he was on only 2 TCs compared to JorDan's 3. Some of that was due to the fishing ships, but I imagine not too much. He's only gone for 7 fishing ships total, but he's got a few more on the way. And extra docks for TaToH, so now the water investment's going to ramp up significantly. And JorDan, my man, I think he might still be left in 2 only. Let me take a look at this. JorDan is only on 1 dock left, while TaToH is going so heavily onto water. Yeah, that's going to be 5 docks total already for TaToH. JorDan will get pushed away from water over here pretty much indefinitely if he's unable to catch up. Purely just here for JorDan first, so we'll see chemistry coming up, interestingly enough. Is it the Dravidians that get +5 pop from docks? I believe so, for the team bonus, if I'm not mistaken. So it does help a little bit as well. That's the second castle coming in forward from JorDan as well, on TaToH's side of the map. And you know, this might actually be really good, because if TaToH's going to stick to just water control, JorDan's got an incredible civilization to go for full land pressure over here. With Bengalis, he's going to have one of the strongest units in the game. We have the Rathas. Once you get all your upgrades, of course, they can be pretty hard to deal with. However, we are still some ways off on that. He's gonna focus right now on Elephant Archer production for the most part, and he's got some Urumi Swordsmen, so he's gonna be protected against Spearline units, and he'll be able to take on anything else with the Elephant Archers for the most part. Here we go. Beautiful so far. This castle should crumble very soon from TaToH, because JorDan's 2 forward castles and 2 treasures over here do put him in a pretty good spot. Here we are. TaToH's investing quite heavily into keeping the castle up for the time being. More elephants! Now we have armor elephants as well. No siege elephants, but still the castle does crumble over here. And once again, if JorDan is able to sustain his push over here, his heavier investment into land production should put him in a much better position, of course, while TaToH is going to just make a play for water. Especially if JorDan can, for instance, secure this gold at some point again in the future. That's going to be great because it's going to offset for not getting access to the center if TaToH is going to be the one to get control of the center island in the end. Now let me try something really quickly. Sorry about that. Guess I just want to bring JorDan's. Yeah, there we go, over there. Webcam view. And some bombard cannons coming in from TaToH as well, which is great. 161 population for TaToH. JorDan's struggling still, 134 only. He's gotten shipwright and he's gotten conscription already. So if he was ever to make a switch into water, now's the time to go for it. Now the problem is, he's so late into it. TaToH shouldn't really struggle too much to keep water control. He's done a good job fending off JorDan's units for this whale. But we'll see. Yeah, it's not perfectly aligned just yet. I'm going to fix that in a moment, but right now I'm just trying to do this at the same time. I have to do it in between the games, or actually not in between the games, during the games, because otherwise the webcam feed disappears when the game is over. But yeah. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It works. For now. Anyway. Nice pressure over here. TaToH's going to end up cleaning up JorDan's forward. Yeah, by the looks of it. There we go. So the castle from JorDan crumbles. That's the second forward castle he's losing over here, and because he doesn't really have the means to defend any of these buildings, he's most likely going to end up getting completely pushed away. He did manage, however, to land some villagers at the center, and he's gonna get the first castle up over here. This is remarkable, especially when TaToH was ahead in work account for a long time before, when he had the possibility of transporting the villagers and potentially going for the castle first. He didn't take advantage of that, and now JorDan is looking much stronger. He is not quite there yet in terms of population overall, but JorDan is in an alright position over here, even if he ended up getting pushed away. Here we go. Castle's coming in for TaToH should allow him to basically secure full control of his own island. Meanwhile, JorDan has got a castle coming up down south. Hey, you wanted to see the theories that die, and they are right there. And we have a good amount of these too. It's not a trivial amount of units. It's not a trivial investment over here. He's gotten into TaToH, that is. And it's the first time in the tournament, from all the games that I have cast, all the games that I have seen, from Dravidians, that I see the unique unit coming in. Meanwhile, the pressure coming up from JorDan from the center as well. He's got the second trebuchet coming up over here. He's managed to get water control around the center as well in TaToH. Well, TaToH is in a world of pain right now. He's hurting so much. Check this out. JorDan, by getting water control at the center over here, prevents TaToH from getting access to the gold over here. And if you take a look at the resources available, TaToH's going to only rely on this one after this gold runs out, and there's only 2,600 resources or so left on those golds over there. He's going to be completely out of gold. He's got one relic only that he's managed to collect. Meanwhile, JorDan, on the other hand, he's got instead 4 relics he's collected so far. And because of the water control over here, he prevents TaToH from getting access to this gold. That should be really, really good for the blue player. Of course, he needs to hold on against the incredibly large amount of theories that die, though. There we go. Yeah, and TaToH is not only the first player to go for this, but he's going for it pretty heavily as well. In the north, an extra TC coming out for TaToH. Cannon Galleon is here for JorDan. This is an incredibly strong unit. If JorDan ends up getting full water control, Cannon Galleon over here would basically make it completely impossible for TaToH to get anything done over here, right? Basically, the Bull player ends up denying all of this, and if he plays a Cannon Galleon over here on the right hand side, he will end up denying all of this as well. If he does end up getting Cannon Galleon, that extends even further out as well, and you can see that there's basically not enough surface area for TaToH to actually you know, keep on playing with if JorDan doesn't end up getting full water control. So that's how important water is over here. It's just not for the goal, but also you prevent your opponent from doing much of anything, even back home. There is the dive production, it's quite strong still. There we are. Beautiful. So many galleons, so many fire ships over here. And the castles are amazing as well for JorDan. Will allow him to get much better trades on water. JorDan casually going for supplies? Yeah, he's got 200 swordsmen coming in right now. So what do we have for Bengalis? I think he's mistaken this for Dravidians who gets wood steel. What is the plan over here for Mr. JorDan? I guess that's probably just going for upgrades. This is kind of early to start going for that, but I guess if he can just go for it. Because I don't see any units coming in, I guess it's probably one of the cheapest upgrades for him to get to boost his score, perhaps. It's probably like the only thing that I can think of. Regardless though, once again, sorry about that. Now we have TaToH's webcam over here, so... hopefully... we'll be able to be done tampering with the webcams by the time this game is over. But check this out though! JorDan's coming in with a landing! He's got the champion upgrade in architecture on the way. And he's got 5 barracks coming in right on TaToH's island. Now the problem is he's got a 200 population, so if he wants to make a play for champions, it's actually going to take a pretty substantial amount of time for him to get any good amount of units out here. Yeah. There's die over here from TaToH. They are still substantial in number, but they have been enabled. They have proved insufficient for him to get center control back. And once again, he does not have access to this gold, and this gold is about to run out, guys. And it's just run out. TaToH is out of gold. He cannot go for this one, not as long as JorDan's got full water control. And there is only 1,000 gold left in TaToH's bank that he'll be able to make use of before it's before it's over for him. 1 relic left, no center control whatsoever. JorDan's playing an incredible game for game number 2, and TaToH's been struggling so far for the most part. Take a look up in the north, and yeah, the champions are finally starting to pour in. So how did JorDan free the space over here? I think it's probably just not being replenishing. Did he delete? I think he might have deleted a few villagers, so he's not being replenishing his navy units. So now he's got space to go for champion, and this is very good. JorDan's remaining good? Oh yeah, JorDan's got resources for days. He's got 2 full forests over here. He's gonna keep on collecting from this one, even if it's not the most efficient currently. And if you take a look at TaToH on the other hand, TaToH's got extra resources too still. He's got plenty of wood up in the north. But I just don't see how TaToH will be able to come back into this game without access to gold. That's the problem though. Right now, gold has ran out for TaToH much earlier than wood's going to run out for either player. Here we go, as the champion make their way towards the south. The raids begin on TaToH's side of the map and extend all the way to the south. He's got a castle over here to defend himself with, which once again has proven to be a worthy investment for him, allowing him to protect the south area. But unfortunately, it's not enough for him to get the water back. It's not enough for him to defend against champions over here, given that the farming land that he's got extends so further to, you know, so further away to the north. And up in the north, JorDan's raid. As he's already been able to get the champions down the south and push the villagers away from farms from TaToH, now the raid is going to extend all the way to the north from JorDan as well. He's got the armor elephant over here. Siege elephant even, not even armor elephant anymore. The champions coming in and yeah, without gold access anymore, without a lot of control, TaToH is toast. Absolutely amazing. There we are. Eventually, TaToH's units will end up getting cleaned up over here, so he cannot really sustain military production for Sadai anymore. He's gonna for a lead cannon galleon. He might be able to get the castle down over here, but I don't think that's going to achieve much of anything. Let's say, in the best case scenario, TaToH manages to destroy the castle over here from JorDan. At most, he'll be able to land over here and start stealing the wood away from JorDan, but I guess it doesn't matter at this point. JorDan's population is so much higher, and yeah, he still has full water control, so without gold, TaToH cannot really contest that currently. Castle coming up with 2 villagers from JorDan up in the north. And this should be pretty much over at the stage, I think. TaToH's not calling it just yet, but JorDan's... Interestingly enough, JorDan's score is not higher than TaToH's right now. The KD has been better for JorDan. He's gotten more villager kills throughout the game. 109 to 24. Eco KD favoring JorDan at this point in time. And somehow JorDan's score is not higher, but now he's going to get the score lead, finally. And of course this castle is going to prevent TaToH from doing much of anything up in the north of his own base. There we are. Beautiful. There is no way back for Mr. TaToH over here, and there is not enough time over here for him to even pursue a score victory. And it seems like it's going to be 2-0 in favor of JorDan. The first series over here is going to have one player favored heavily going into game number 3. And, you know, for the best of 3, game number 2 was always going to be match point. For best of 5, game number 3 is not necessarily going to be match point, so... yeah, the fact that JorDan has managed to put himself in this position at this stage of the game is just fantastic. So yeah, TaToH, once again, best case scenario, he does manage to clean out the castle. He does manage to land over here. He's gonna get access to these, to this extra wood. Given the fact that now JorDan's got control of the north side of TaToH's base, TaToH did not have access to wood otherwise. But he's in 129 population. He does not have access to gold. JorDan's got plenty of gold available to collect from still, and it's going to be wood the issue right now for JorDan, actually, so both players kind of starving each other. The difference is that JorDan does manage to get access to wood over here by having control of TaToH's north side of the island over here. Meanwhile, down south over here, TaToH does end up kind of denying wood income from JorDan, but he does not have access to gold to sustain military production, so JorDan's still in a much better spot. And yeah, it doesn't seem like we are going to have much of anything for TaToH to go for, as he keeps on just stumbling over here. Drop in population, 110 population for TaToH. Just not strong enough, unfortunately, for him. And he does call it GG. So as we have this, now it's time for me to take a look at the webcams really quickly. And hopefully... let me see if I can fix this right away. We'll see, first off, a very nice KD for TaToH over here, which is why he might have managed to get the score lead for so long. But a much stronger economy for JorDan. This surprises no one, probably. In the end, we do have a lot of extra villager loss losses for TaToH over there. But that's about it. So let's just go back.
I'm here with TaToH, who was one of the first players to make it through to the quarterfinals. TaToH, I want to get your take on what that was like for you being, I mean, you put in a blistering performance. You were straight in there. That must have been exactly what you wanted out of day one.
Yeah, of course. Like, it's something that I didn't expect, but at the same time, like, it's something I was really happy for, and also, like, it will help me in the quarterfinals.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about maybe some of the advantages you've picked up because of that qualification. A day's rest. Obviously, you didn't have to play in the elimination or decider matches. What else did you use that day to do in terms of preparation?
Well, I used that day to help my teammates, like JorDan and JorDan, and also like to check what my potential opponents were going to play, what seeds, drafts, games, so everything that could help me.
Bit of scouting, bit of intel.
A bit of scouting. Everything that could help me in the quarterfinals.
Okay, and let's talk about your mindset, because you said it was maybe a bit of a surprise that you got through to the quarter straight away, not what you were expecting. Has that shifted your confidence levels?
Yeah, of course. I think it helped me like a bit realize that I can beat everyone, and it's not like I didn't think it, but it was harder, right? I think it was an upset as well, but at the same time, like it potentially had a like easier opponent. Like, it will help me having easier opponent.
For sure, and I think one of the really important things to note here is the fact that just that momentum that you gain, the fact that you get that extra day's rest, you're not stressed about thinking, oh, my tournament life is on the line. You know, in these quarterfinals, you're exactly where you need to be to succeed. Yeah,
for sure. Like I watched it yesterday, JorDan as well. Like he was on the decider, and he was really, like it has to be super scary moment, and we need to be nervous for sure.
Well, TaToH, mate, best of luck to you. I hope the quarterfinals go your way, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Alright, I am back. What's the typical format? Was there a draft? Yes. Yes, there was a draft. And it seems like the players are probably gonna jump into the game if they are not already there. Yes, the game just started, and we see the civilizations coming up over here. JorDan's got Mayans, and the draft command is not updated. There we are. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause this for about 10 seconds or so after we completely catch up, so that we have the player reactions at the same time as the game. Alright? So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so. I think that's probably good. Oh god. Come on. Capture H. 1x. Alright, there we go. I think this is probably alright. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to take a look to see if that's actually the case. Make sure that we are completely synced up. We are! Yeah! Let's go! So now, whatever reaction you see on the webcam is going to be pretty much live. Let's switch TaToH over to the red color as well. And yeah! Hindustanis versus Mayans. This is great, guys! This is a great setup. This is the first time that somebody provides us with all these resources to, you know, to spice up our streams. And it's fantastic. I know there's only 2 people here, but it's great. It really gives a sense of higher production value overall. This is something that I always try to do whenever I host a tournament or I make the production. I make all the production things of a tournament. I try to provide everything to the streamers, but usually nobody takes advantage of it. So I'm glad that somebody has given me the option to do that. Anyway, we have an archer range coming up on the left hand side for TaToH. He's going up to the Castle H already. And JorDan will be up to the Castle H in a moment. He's gonna click out to the Castle H in a moment as well, but he's a little bit further behind. He did go for the walls already though, so he does have that going for him. Before we move much further, let me take a look at this really quickly. Okay, yeah, this is working fine. Alright. Score 2-0 in favor of JorDan. Yes, sorry about that. Second archer range on the way for TaToH. Interesting. I have seen Hindustanis make a play for cavalry archers in the past. It's not always worked pretty well because it's not a unit that's going to scale the best for Hindustanis compared to Indians in the past. You know, it used to scale so much better for Indians, but yeah, it's still going to be alright. I think they only lack parting tactics, and then for the rest, I think they have everything. So it's not too bad, especially in the Castle Age, but we'll see. Right now, only 2 archer ranges means that any potential for cavalry archer is going to be not as good as it could be. Usually we see 3 archer ranges for players, but that's also often the case with Hans. With Hindustanis, he does have to pay full price for these, so he wouldn't be able to produce from all 3 100% of the time, so it's fine. Down the south, TaToH's starting to collect some stone over here already. And JorDan realized about this. Does JorDan have the means to push the villagers away from there? Not unless he goes for a tower or something, because right now he's got 2 barracks and no archer ranges, so he cannot even go for archers to push the villagers away. And TaToH's gonna be fine.
Shot it.
Castle Age is gonna be here very soon for JorDan and TaToH. He's sticking to 1 TC full pressure. This is gonna be all in cavalry archer play from TaToH. He's got the next wave of units coming up over here. The second pair of cavalry archers coming up over here. Of course, he's gonna need definitely bulking arrow, yes. But he also needs husbandry. He needs bloodlines, most importantly as well. That's going to signify a 40% boost in HP for cavalry archers. So he does need to go for it. And we do see a second TC eventually come out for TaToH, albeit with a single villager. And then JorDan on the right hand side, he's got a second TC coming out with 2 vills. As soon as he gets to the Castle Age, so it seems like JorDan's going to prioritize economy a little bit more. Definitely. He's got a third TC on the way. And TaToH, well, he does have a third TC on the way over here. Does not mean that he's necessarily going to go for triple TC villager production, especially if he's ever hoping to get to a good amount of cavalry archers. He needs to prioritize military production. But eventually, once he gets the resources to go for double archer range cavalry archer production plus a few extra villagers, the extra TCs of course will come in handy, not just for defenses but also for production. Right hand side, cavalry archers are here though from TaToH! And JorDan was trying to get a third TC, but he won't be able to do it. And this TC is getting delayed, if not straight out denied. It's all going to depend on TaToH's unit control for the time being. He's doing a really good job in getting the villagers down over here with blocking out these cavalry archers, even if low in numbers, will still be able to get the villagers down. So he's going after the next one. That's going to be another villager dead from JorDan until TaToH gets pushed away from here. He still manages some good damage though.
Shot it.
There we are. 30C is already up as well for TaToH. It almost looks as if the TC spawned cavalry archers. But anyway. What do we get on the right hand side? The TC coming out from JorDan. He's the only player to have taken damage in terms of economy so far with 3 villager losses. So TaToH, despite the fact that he's not been prioritizing eco production quite as much, he still manages to find himself about 5 villages ahead compared to JorDan. Plus student squires are in, those eagles will be tough. Yeah, they will. There's always this one game that I think back to whenever I see cavalry archers against eagles, and that was Doubt versus... Man, I don't remember who the other player was, but that was so long ago. It was such a long time ago. I think it was during one of the ECL matches even, where Doubt just went for full Eagle Warriors, and he actually was able to get away with it because the other player, even though he had a lot of cavalry archers, the amount of micro necessary to take down the Eagle Warriors is so much, it's a very impractical kind of army. So while I do appreciate the attempt for aggression from TaToH, I am not convinced by the cavalry archer play over here, and I think JorDan is going to have a much lower maintenance army, is going to have a much more favorable position over here to start pushing from, as he doesn't need to worry about these units too much. TaToH needs to keep all the cavalry archers. Dal versus Leary and Kawasan had Eagles versus the Indian cavalry archer. Cavalry archer won that time. No, it was even further back, but yeah, there were many instances of this happening, of course. The thing is, JorDan's Eagles as well, they are so good in the Imperial Age. Once you get the Dorado, they go up to 100 HP, so that makes it even harder to deal with. But yeah, anyway, what I was saying is JorDan is in a pretty good spot over here to put pressure from. Does end up getting one village down over here, because he does not need to worry about this army quite as much. He can send small groups of Eagles, pretty much unattended, although not ideally, but pretty much unattended, around the map, around different areas around TaToH's base. And TaToH, on the other hand, he kind of needs to keep the cavalry archers grouped up. He cannot just split this too thin, and he's got to keep each group, you know, a decent size, otherwise he does not really stand a chance like this. He's got the hill over here, he's got 8 cavalry archers, that's going to suffice, but he cannot split this into 2 groups of 4 and then go forward and try to raid, for instance. Or at the very least, not without it being extremely risky, that is. Oh! And the Eagles are putting pressure on the left-hand side, preventing the Siege Workshop from coming up at the very least for the time being. And JorDan's managed to get his own Siege Workshop. Here we go. This honestly could be a sweep. I agree, and I appreciate TaToH's attempt over here, but JorDan's current strat, current position seems a little bit better. To my eyes, that is. Second TC comes up. 4th TC rather. Second TC down the south comes up. And good magnet shot at the very least. TaToH's able to fend off the units from JorDan for the time being with the group of cavalry archers plus the siege that he's got to defend his TCs over here with. It's going to suffice for the time being. JorDan is still on 3 TCs and he still keeps on falling behind further in villager count. So right now TaToH's got a higher population both for military and for economy. He's going for a defensive castle, which should provide protection to both these TCs. And it seems like JorDan's pressure on the left-hand side is just not going to be strong enough. So this is the thing though, JorDan's... I don't really agree with the use of the Eagle Warriors that he's given these units right now. I think that he definitely needs to try and keep the raids going, go forward, put pressure. There is so much that's exposed over here around TaToH's base. If JorDan is able to breach through the walls at any point in time, then TaToH's economy just crumbles, falls to pieces. Imagine he comes in with 12 Eagles, he breaches in, and then he splits those into 3 groups of 4, and then he strikes the wall lines on the back, the farms over here on the back, he moves the rest of the villagers, or actually, sorry, the rest of the Eagles around the villages over here on the left-hand side. He garrisons, or he prompts TaToH into garrison of the TCs over here. That's a lot of idle economy for a very long time for TaToH, for very cheap for JorDan. So that's what I wanted to see from JorDan for the most part, and I find him kind of stuck over here trying to put pressure on the left-hand side, and he's not really getting too much out of it yet. Out of all the series today, this is not the one that I thought could result in a clean 3-0. Getting a bit ahead of myself though, this is not over. Yeah, it's not over. It's not over, especially with TaToH's fantastic defense so far, and JorDan's not quite a strong push, I gotta be honest. As it could be in any case. Oh, and it's open! Here comes TaToH straight in between the house in the middle. On the back of JorDan's base, there's a lot of exposed economy right for taking, and TaToH's going right after it. He's got ballistics. These cavalry archers, they do not have Thumri yet, but he'll still be able to get some villager picks over there. That's 2 villages going down, make that 3 villages going down. This is not even going to be the end of it. More villages going down over there. Beautiful. Yeah, and this is just going to result in so many losses. Imagine something like this on the other side of the map if JorDan had gone for the Eagle Warriors, but TaToH is going to be the one getting away with this. Sure, the quick walls coming from JorDan over here, and the cavalry archer, they end up getting cleaned up, but take a look at the villager count from JorDan right now. He has a 32 villager deficit compared to TaToH. It's been great. Here we are, an extra TC, the 50C coming in from TaToH up in the north. Amazing. Taking a look down the south. Extra barracks coming in, and JorDan seems like he'll finally start ramping up his eagle production. He's got a defensive castle on the up in the north. That's pretty much about it. Here we go. Now TaToH's going after a second raid attempt towards the northeast. JorDan's reaction is quite swift though. Doesn't that bring the villagers into the TC right away? And you can't help but feel very good about TaToH's current position, especially if you're hoping for a full series over here, just because of, you know, how much extra population he's got to work with right now. He's gonna start going for Ghoul and Warriors too, which will of course be quite good. They do have a little bit of a bonus against Eagle Warriors, so we'll see. But you cannot get too ahead over here. JorDan is going up to the Imperial Age, for instance. Because he already has a castle, he can potentially go for El Dorado. The Eagle Warriors are going to be so strong. Yeah, there's a very nice choke point over here actually that JorDan built for TaToH. Now he can delete the house, of course, and TaToH is going to get surrounded once again. This is the second group of cavalry archers that TaToH is going to lose inside JorDan's base. This time around he was unable to do much damage with these units at all. So that was a very good trade for JorDan in the end, and while the score is looking better for TaToH, once JorDan gets to the Imperial Age, that's going to boost his score by quite a bit. And of course, once we get the Elite Eagle Warrior and El Dorado, that's going to be troubles for TaToH. So now TaToH's going out to the Imperial Age, and we'll see who gets the better end of the deal here. Here we go.
Shot it.
Not too long left to wait. And JorDan's gonna have to relocate the barracks up to the north instead. Alright, castle's on the way now for TaToH. On the left hand side, well, this is just... You can split this map in two, and the players would barely be affected. There is nothing right now that is on the right hand side from TaToH. There is nothing from JorDan on the left hand side bearing this siege workshop that's about to go down anyway. So now that the Imperial Age is here, this is what I want to see. What is JorDan getting himself into? He's got a lot of Eagle Warriors right now, 31. He's got a few more queued up, and he's going for Elite Eagle Warrior from the get-go. He's got a trebuchet on the way as well, and because TaToH's still 45 seconds away from the Imperial Age, JorDan's gonna start trading the castle down over here, or potentially the TC down from TaToH since much earlier. One thing that TaToH does have going for him, though, is the 2 additional castles on the left-hand side, so he'll be able to produce trebuchet significantly faster compared to JorDan. Now, the Ghoul and Warrior are a very strong unit, and it will do pretty well against the Eagles over here with the right amount of units. So TaToH is not powerless against JorDan's potential for Eagle Warriors, but we'll see who ends up coming out on top. JorDan's units are very cheap. The production potential is so much higher as well, because the Ghouls are only going to produce from the castles, right? And we are going to have 4 castles total for TaToH versus about 5 barracks right now from JorDan. But the numbers are looking very close. About 35 Eagle Warriors versus 35 Ghoul and Warriors for JorDan and TaToH, respectively. And here come the Ghoul right after the trebuchet. And the trebuchet gets taken down. He dives. He kills. He bails. Rinse, repeat. El Dorado's on the way now for JorDan. This is instrumental for his army. He's gonna be taken to only Eagle Warriors. That's the way to go. And TaToH's still on a very scary amount of golems still. He does not really have at this point in time Elite Golem just yet, but we could very well see it come up very soon. Down the south instead, there's another castle coming out for TaToH, so it seems like he's going to pop these as if they were barracks. And it's basically going to be a battle of the Hindustanis versus the Mayan Eagles. Hindustanis Golem versus Mayan Eagles. If you ever had questions about who wins between these two units, especially once the Eagles have El Dorado, I guess it's going to be the game to answer all your questions. 151 to 181 population for JorDan and TaToH, though. TaToH's economy is significantly stronger still, 27 extra units. And TaToH is going right now for Shatagni, so that's going to give the hand cannoneer 2 extra range. That is the one thing that TaToH's got that JorDan does not really have a counter ready for over here. Of course, and a big engagement taking place right now. El Dorado Eagle Warriors are cleaning up the Golem, and the hand cannoneer over here are not proven sufficient to clean the units out from JorDan. And here comes the Bull player. TaToH has to get the quick walls up on time, because if the Eagles get into his economy, TaToH gets idle. The foreseeable future, that is. So JorDan's pressure over here is very strong, and he ends up completely obliterating the Golem over here. And yeah, these are not elite Golem even. So the hand cannoneer, even though they were doing some good damage from behind over here, were not enough numbers. We're not early enough over here, and JorDan does end up getting the better end of the deal. Still, at the end of the day, though, TaToH remains ahead in overall population by about 25 or so. Here we go. Another pressure's coming in with the Cherry Shade. It's something that I was expecting to see a little bit earlier, but he should be able to get the castle down. I'm pretty sure. Here we are. Beautiful. Down the south, we have Blast Furnace. There is also now Elite Golem coming in for TaToH finally. And he's not really been producing quite as heavily anymore, though. He's putting pressure on the right hand side with bombard cannons. He's got the hand cannoneer over here to protect the rest of the Golem he's got. But now with the lead Golem plus hand cannoneer, the push up in the north is going to go TaToH's way for sure. Meanwhile, down south over here, JorDan's raid is fantastic. He's getting a lot of picks over here. This is perhaps going to allow him to catch up in Eco KD, but for the time being, the Golem coming out of TaToH's castle will suffice against JorDan's Eagles. And it doesn't seem like the push over here from the blue player down the south is quite as strong. Meanwhile, up in the north, TaToH is getting away with this. He's gotten the castle down. He's taking the barracks down over here. He's got an unstoppable force to keep on pushing. He's gotten to 200 population, and JorDan does not even have enough population space to keep on going for more anymore. He's kind of stuck at 185 right now, although he just finishes going for a few extra buildings to get 200 population. We'll see a very heavy eagle production. He's got 14 eagles queued up from I think this is 9. Yeah, it's going to be 9 barracks that JorDan's producing eagles from. In TaToH, on the other hand, he's not really producing Golem too heavily. It's just going to be, for the most part, bombard cannons. And obviously, he's got 200 population, but we can't even see that the queue for Golem is not too high. He's got only 11 units queued up. Game's heating up for sure. There we go. A lot of extra eagles coming in. The quick vault from TaToH to protect the trebuchets are fantastic. There we go. These should eventually go down though. Gate foundations, they do not have any armor. Oh, and the villagers actually open the gate! As they finish building the defenses for the trebuchet, they immediately betray the siege over here, turn their backs, and let the Eagles in. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for JorDan to take the Trebuchet down, though, and in the end, he does end up getting cleaned up for the most part. Now on the right-hand side, though, up in the north, let's take a look. He does manage to get some good raids against TaToH's villagers, and TaToH doesn't seem to be realizing about this, so overall, Eagle KD is just going through the roof right now from both players. But check this raid, though! Or actually, check this surround from JorDan with a lot of Eagles. He's got plume archers right now to work against a hand cannoneer with as well. We'll end up cleaning these units up. We do not really have too much military for TaToH anymore than 132 versus 144 population for TaToH and JorDan. We'll heat this game up quite a bit more compared to just a few minutes ago when TaToH was looking so dominant. JorDan was able to strike back with a force. Absolutely fantastic. There you are. Got the crumbles from JorDan. He's already lost so much around this area. Up in the north. Yeah, JorDan's push over here is no more. Gulam end up cleaning up the Eagle. That's about it. The game has stabilized. It's not going to last for too long, though. Players are working towards 200 population. Very soon we'll see them go forward and try to put pressure once again. And up until this point, TaToH's gotten away with most of the map control in terms of gold, access to gold, and access to stone as well. There you are. Nice. And then down south. Yeah, the units are still messing up from JorDan. He's not kept on going for plume archers too much, and these guys were not even fully upgraded. We do not have bracer, we do not have chemistry. And these are not even elite plume archers, right? So it's just going to be full-on Eagle Warrior from JorDan. And I would definitely like to see something else from the blue player over here. Some sort of siege to keep on putting pressure with, because right now it does not seem like it's strong enough. It's a complex game with a lot of intricate mechanics. Meanwhile, in my hands, Paradox Machine goes. Paradox Machine goes. Brrr. Oh boy, I'm not really sure how to read that. I'm aware of the meme, but I don't think I've heard it before. I've heard it spoken out loud before, so I'm not really sure how to read it. Anyway, 200 population already for JorDan. 200 population for TaToH right now. We'll see the big push. Scary number of Eagle Warriors for sure. A good amount of Gulam Warriors over here, plus Hand Cannoneer to boot behind this too. We have Bombard Cannons, we have Trebuchet. The siege aspect of TaToH's army is so much stronger compared to JorDan's. Now TaToH's got Grand Trunk Road as well for extra gold income. Well, let's take a look. Up in the north, the Eagles are coming in already from JorDan, putting pressure. TaToH should be able to defend over here. He already has some Gulam Warriors over there. Meanwhile, down the south, though, the push from TaToH is strong. He's got 2 Bombard Cannons. He's got 3 Trebuchets going up against the castle from JorDan. And JorDan's bringing all the Eagle Warriors he's got. And now that's going to amount to about 65 Eagle Warriors. He's not making use of all of them, though. Some of these are just standing idle by the Trebuchet. And it seems like the castle might end up going down anyway. Not quite. Trebuchet will go down. It seems that the Eagles are dominating still. And now JorDan realized he's bringing the Trebuchet, he's bringing the Eagle Warriors, and while his castle will ultimately end up going down, it's not going to be the case actually. He's able to keep the castle up. Yes, the final Trebuchet goes down as the castle stays up over there. What a great position for JorDan to find himself over here down the south. A lot of extra Eagles still going forward after taking all the Trebuchets down from TaToH and even Bombard Cannons for the most part. It's been a very expensive loss for the red player, and JorDan on the other hand, he's putting so much pressure over here. I end up getting the castle down very soon as well if he's able to defend the Trebuchets against the Gulam and the Hand Cannoneer, potentially the Bombard Cannon as well. He does end up bailing though for the time being in the game once again. kind of stabilizes. Yeah. They are stronger for JorDan. TaToH's been able to hold on really well for the most part, though. He's the only player on 200 population right now. JorDan's economy does not seem to be quite in great shape to go for quite as many losses as he's going for at all times. He cannot really replenish his army fast enough. Nice raid on the south, though. TaToH's pushing JorDan away from gold. Now, this is going to become an issue for JorDan very soon. He's going with the Eagles up against the hand cannoneer over here. We'll see if he can take this. But the Gulam are doing a really good job against the villagers right next to the castle. And JorDan does not even try to defend over there. So he's just going to call the GG. I was going to say this was going to become an issue for JorDan for sure, because the gold access for him was certainly going to run out. If you take a look at the resource distribution over here, we do not have any of the starting golds anymore for the players, and JorDan only had access to this gold he just got pushed away from, and then up in the north, he had gotten pushed away from here as well. So TaToH doesn't end up taking one game over here. It's going to be 1 for TaToH, 2 for JorDan, and let's just go back. Check TaToH's reaction over there, though. Is a look of relief, but then at the same time, just so he kind of looks like he's all worn out right now after such a game. It was not an easy win. We already saw Mayans, we already saw Bengalis, and we already saw Sicilians from JorDan. So that's going to leave him with Berbers, Saracens, and Vietnamese. He goes for Saracens for the next one. TaToH, on the other hand, he's already made use of Byzantines. Actually, no, he's made use of Dravidians. He's made use of Incas, and he's made use of Hindustani. So he's got Byzantines, he's got Ethiopians, and he's got Italians left. We have Saracens for JorDan. I'm kind of wondering if he's going to make a play for water here. TaToH, on the other hand, he's got Ethiopians, he's got Italians and Byzantines. If he wanted to make a play for water, he does have 2 fantastic civilizations for that. Then he's got Ethiopians on top of it too. Given that we have acclivity left for later, I guess he's probably going to be Italians for Shoals. I guess we are going to find out. And yeah, it's going to be Italians for TaToH. So both players going for water civilizations, but now TaToH, of course, with Italians, not only going to be a strong civilization just for water, but also it's going to be very good for something like going up faster, potentially trying to get full map control earlier. Well, let's jump into the game, guys. Let's go. Yes, sir. There we are. Fantastic. For game number 4, TaToH, he's gonna have Italians and he's playing down the south of the map. Meanwhile, JorDan, on the other hand, he's playing up in the north. He's got Saracens, and that means that both these players technically have water civilization. Saracens are, if I'm not mistaken, camel and naval type, while Italians are going to be archer and naval. But both these civilizations are going to have plenty of bonuses, of course, not necessarily for the strongest for water, but at the very least 1 water bonus, right? Italians will be the civilization with the most water bonus between both these. With a 33% discount on dock upgrades as well as university upgrades, we also get for Italians a 15% discount on fishing ships, a 15% discount to go up to the next stage, so going up to the fuel age, going up to the castle age, sorry, in this case, going up to the imperial age, it's going to be cheaper for them. And on top of that, we also get a discount on gunpowder units for Italians. So that's going to be good in addition to that. And oh, the demo shot though, starting with a bang, game number 4. TaToH gets already, finds 2 fishing ships over here. And JorDan, well, JorDan went for it with the galleys, but could not really find a single fishing ship over here just yet. That must have felt good from TaToH, and of course, Who else are you expecting to get great damage shots if not from TaToH himself? Predictions? Oh, yeah, if you can get the predictions going, Bailo, that'll be great. Otherwise, I can do it myself, but I'm going to wait. If you say you'll try, let me know. And yeah, Saracens, on the other hand, for JorDan, will get 25% faster attacking galley line units. So galley on galley will go in favor of Saracens. And galleys are the units to scale the best, so we are going to see JorDan go for galley regardless. And because of the 25% faster attacking bonus, if he does not get in 4 galleys, that might be enough already for him to end up cleaning up TaToH's units over here, whatever TaToH goes for in water anyway. Oh, it doesn't work? Okay, I'll enable predictions on my own. Let's take a look. Who wins game number 4? Option 1, we are going to follow the same colors as in game. So option 1 will be JorDan, and option 2 is gonna be TaToH. Go nuts, guys! The predictions will be open for 5 minutes, so there is plenty of time for you to make use of your channel points to cast your predictions, say who you think is going to win. Now, up in the north though, let me, take a look at this. We see one villager go down. This is one of the reasons why I've just been trying to just focus on the games as well and not worry too much about reading chat or predictions, because we can miss these things. Could probably enable predictions before the game starts next time around. But yeah, that's the first villager going down over here. So JorDan's lost 2 fishing ships and 1 villager, so that's going to be 3-0 Eco KD in favor of TaToH so far. It's going up to the Castle Age. JorDan's going up to the Castle Age. Both players are going up, and JorDan's got a little bit of a head start to it, despite the fact that TaToH gets the discount. Despite the fact that he's got a stronger economy because of the fishing ship still. Here we are. Beautiful. Scale bar and armor's on the way now for JorDan. Gaslight should be here for the Bull player as well. In just a little bit. It's got it. And Gaslight is here for TaToH as well. Just a 7-second difference is not too much, and JorDan's got a TC coming up right away up in the north. While TaToH instead is going to be the first player to venture out into the open to get a TC up on the goal, right? On one of the goals over here. The neutral goals are incredibly important for this map. So TaToH's going to try to get control over here. Meanwhile, JorDan, on the other hand, is not really able to do too much in that sense. He doesn't really have much in terms of military presence around the map. And while he did go for, a few knights right now, they're only starting to pour in after the Castle Age, so he couldn't go for the second PC right away on one of the neutral golds. Nice defense though. TaToH doesn't end up getting the knights over here, the one knight. And this guy almost goes down as well from JorDan. There's the third TC on the way for TaToH down south. This seems to indicate TaToH's gonna be committed to full eco production over here. Given the fact that he's gotten some good damage done on water, and he's probably going to end up getting full water control as he's got the fire ships out already. TaToH might end up getting fully, he might end up getting a hit by quite a lot in worker count very soon. We'll see. This map does not really have too much in terms of fishing economy, so TaToH did end up losing the fishing ships by the looks of it. Or 3 out of 4. And he's not going for any more. So the reason I say it doesn't really have too much in terms of food economy on water is because we have shore fish only. We do not have deep fish. And the food income from fishing ships, from shore fish, is not particularly fast. So it's usually not worth the hassle, and players are going to ignore it for the most part. We only saw it being utilized one time, I think yesterday during one of the games. We saw one player go for full water control, and they ended up going for 7 fishing ships. But even then, they stopped short of going for any more than that. And in the end, it seems like the fishing ships are going down for JorDan as well, all of them. And he gonna keep on going for any more. Meanwhile, TaToH, he does not get in full water control over here. At the very least, that's going to be the case. And you can see that he's not even going to bother into going for any extra fishing ships at all. He does not have anything queued up. Right hand side. Yeah, TaToH's just chilling over here. He's already managed to get a 1 worker lead. And TaToH does not really have the means to get ahead in worker count by too much, as now JorDan's added a third TC himself on the left hand side. So it's going to be 3 TCs and 3 TCs. If both players play it perfectly and keep all the TCs working at all times, it's going to favor no one, right? It's just going to allow TaToH to probably hold on to his 2 villager lead. Let's take a look at gather economy time so far. A little bit higher for JorDan. So yeah, TaToH still gotta catch up a little bit over here, despite having extra villagers.
Salve. Naam.
Extra TC on the way for TaToH on the left hand side. He seems to be the only player going for extra goal control for the time being, but JorDan's most likely than not gonna try and make a push for the sides after he gets to the Imperial Age. For the time being, he just seems to be playing defensive with the extra TCs. This is a different playstyle from JorDan. Now, gotta wonder if he's experimenting with this, or if he's really trying what he thinks is going to give him the best shot at taking game number 4. With the 4 TC, TaToH's gonna start pulling a more significant villager lead. Right now, both players are able to keep the TCs working for the most part, so TaToH's still ahead in villager count by a little bit. JorDan's got wheelbarrow on the way as well, so that allows TaToH to potentially get ahead even further, but it's not the case actually. TaToH's not producing from all 3 TCs at all times. So despite wheelbarrow coming in from JorDan, the villager count's still pretty much the same. We have 3 extra villagers over here for TaToH, but it used to be a 2 villager lead before JorDan got wheelbarrow. So right now, the JorDan's got wheelbarrow, that should have gone up to 5, and it's not been the case, so TaToH's struggling to keep up with its own economy. Wheelbarrow's on the way. That should be enough for JorDan to catch up in worker count as well. Wheelbarrow's on the way for TaToH, that is. Now let's see. Oh my lord, it's been almost 3 hours. I just realized. We've been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes and we are just in game number 4 over here. The games have been so good. The games have been so good, and the series seems like it could potentially go on for a little bit longer as well. So it seems like today we are in for a longer stream as well. Yesterday we almost got to 10 hours. It was brutal. Got up straight to cast, finished casting, and there was a 5-hour window before I had to go to bed already for today's cast. Nice shot. Here we go. I hate the sim match. It's really hard to say which one has a stronger army leader. Clown brain hurts. Indeed. So I guess we are going to find out that once again though, as I always say, it's mostly usually about the players, not so much about the civilizations, and especially when the matchup is this close and you cannot really put your finger on which civilization is going to be the strongest one in a definitive manner anyway. It makes for a much more interesting game, even because it's going to make the players even a lot more relevant. So now Imperial is on the way for JorDan. He already managed to get the castle up on the right hand side, so he doesn't end up pushing TaToH away for the most part. Especially because TaToH did go for the castle over here, but it was in the back, so he does not really guarantee access to any of these golds. And after he gets pushed away from the... After the TC goes down over here, then JorDan can keep on putting even more pressure and potentially pushing TaToH away from the only gold actually he managed to steal collect from. Actually, this is not even gold, this is stone over here that TaToH's collecting from, so he does not secure any golds. JorDan's already effectively pushed TaToH away from the right hand side at the very least when it comes to gold income. And then on the left hand side, we should see JorDan go for a 4 castle as well. He's already gearing up as he's got a villager getting an outpost over here. And very soon he's gonna have the stone to go for a 2nd castle. And Imperial is here, so what do we get from JorDan? Trebuchet on the way right away. He's got a minute head start to it compared to TaToH. And he knows about the castle, so this one will crumble for TaToH. That's for sure. By the time TaToH gets 1 Trebuchet out, JorDan's gonna be on 2 already. And yeah, there's an extra TC coming up on the left hand side for JorDan. He's not going for it just yet. He could potentially go for it in a moment. Villager count, as expected, is a little bit higher for TaToH in the end because of the extra TCs. Right now, JorDan will catch up though. He does have a 4 TC on the way, but that's about it. So, there we go. Imperial is here for TaToH. And we see no trebuchets at all. He's going for chemistry. 20% cheaper bombard cannons he'll get access to. And yeah, you know what? 2nd trebuchet is gonna be out for JorDan in a moment. While TaToH's going for a castle on the left hand side. He's got an outpost on the way. And JorDan's got a knight over here. He should send a knight forward before he ever tries to go for a forward castle for sure. Here we go. Up in the north, there's a castle coming out for JorDan. Did he realize about all the extra buildings from TaToH on the left hand side? Not necessarily, but he knows about the siege workshop coming up, but now TaToH's making a play for condottieri. He does have a good amount of barracks over here, so it's going to be full condottieri. He's got Genoese crossbows coming up, so it's going to be full unique units from Italians. And JorDan's got the Arbalester upgrade coming in. Now, Arbalesters should, on paper, take care of both these units. As if we take a look at the condottieri over here, they do not have any base pierce armor, so they only rely on plate mail armor. And Arbalesters should be still pretty good. So we have extra archer ranges over here, and of course, there's also the potential for hand cannoneer, if I'm not mistaken, for JorDan civilization, but for the time being, it's just going to be Arbalesters. He does end up taking the castle down on the right hand side from TaToH. We were expecting this to be the case with the trebuchet from JorDan, and TaToH does gets completely pushed away from the right, and then on the left, he does have full control. But we'll see for how long. JorDan, he's got the trebuchets moving over the left hand side. From the right, he sent them all the way to the left. And yeah, he's gonna try and take the trap down over here to keep his castle up. I think he should be able to do so. So it seems like JorDan's going to stabilize over here just fine. It just feels wrong to see JorDan has the Saracens instead of TaToH, right? The bombard cannons here from Jordi. He should be able to take the trebuchet down. Here he comes. He gets a trebuchet with the bombard cannon. Let's see if he can clutch it up with the bombard cannons over here. So far, he's been unable to. The Arbalester upgrade is only now coming out, so he's got just crossbows. He does have chemistry and bracer, but still, the Arbalester upgrade is going to be kind of necessary to take care of the condottieri over here at the very least, unless he goes for a copious amount of crossbows. Second castle on the way for JorDan on the right hand side. With this castle, the Bull player completely secures the right hand side, as TaToH doesn't even really have much to push with on the right hand side. He's got the one bombard cannon over here, condottieri. He's going for more barracks, so it's going to be even more condottieri. So he's got Genoese crossbows and the condottieri will be coming out. But JorDan's gonna be fine on the right hand side. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, we have the two castles from TaToH. And it's right now 1 neutral gold for each player. Although TaToH sent the condottieri through the center over to the right. There we go. Left hand side. 3 trebuchets from JorDan. It's got a bombard cannon over there as well. It's got to be careful. Yeah, now he's got the arbalista, so he should be able to hold on against condottieri just fine. What do we have then for TaToH that will give him a lead? I don't think there's much of anything that he'll be able to do, is there? A castle's on the way now on the right hand side from TaToH, and if JorDan realizes about this, he's got a bombard cannon and trebuchets, or the one trebuchet over here to potentially target the castle with as well. He could also wait for TaToH to get the castle up over here, at the very least get a higher completion percentage before he actually tries to strike. But it seems like he's gonna get pushed away from here though. TaToH's looking great. There are not military units on the right hand side from JorDan to defend his siege with, and the castle's crumbling over here. TaToH is going to throw this one down. He will get access to the center goal on the right hand side once again. He's got another castle on the way. And JorDan, he's caught completely off guard over here. He was bringing the churches over, but now he doesn't really have a means to defend it. So TaToH's push on the right hand side is looking mighty strong, while on the left hand side, JorDan's got nothing to push against TaToH. As a matter of fact, TaToH's just bringing the bombard cannons, and it seems like he'll be able to get the castle down over here between the bombard cannons and the trebuchet. The castle should crumble very soon. Yeah, suffice to say, TaToH's position over here is looking very promising. Mighty strong. Here we are. 2 bombard cannons, 2 trebuchets. TaToH will end up getting the castle down over here from JorDan for sure. Or at the very least should be able to. There we go. There we go. The castle's going down. The next volley. Yes, sir. TaToH holds on to the right hand side still after pushing TaToH, after pushing JorDan away, sorry. Now, take a look at this. JorDan's goal control right now is reliant on however many villagers he can hold on to the center over here with. But if you take a look at the amount of gold that's available back home, he's got nothing. He's got 0 tiles of gold left. So if TaToH is able to hold on to the right hand side, or if he's able to push JorDan away, should be able to starve the Bull player for gold. So we see JorDan go for a castle over here, and it seems like JorDan's kind of starting to struggle over here. Decision making has been kind of weird, and it makes me wonder if he's probably not in the best mental space right now. Perhaps he's feeling kind of the same pressure that TaToH was feeling when he was down 2-0 in game number 3. Well, JorDan certainly needs to collect himself if he is to win the quarterfinals over here, and we'll see if he can do it. For the time being, he's trying to mass a good amount of Hussar over here, and TaToH's got still the Genoese crossbows that are going to work wonders against cavalry units. He's got condottieri over here and 4 trebuchets still to work with, plus another castle on the way. After having lost one, he's going to replace it with a different one. He has the ultimate goal source. Down market. Yeah. Fantastic pressure on the left-hand side now. 5 trebuchets from TaToH. Completely destroying JorDan's castle. Check that out. Like, it's not even close. One more volley and the castle's gone. So on the left-hand side, there's nothing for JorDan to do over here anymore. TaToH's getting to 200 population, and on the right-hand side, he'll end up pushing TaToH away as well. So in addition to the left now, TaToH will end up pushing JorDan away from the right-hand side, and without access to goal, once again, JorDan does not really have the means to keep on going for too much military production. I mean, he can go for Hussar, but we had Genoese crossbows for TaToH. He's got momentum on the right-hand side, and the Hussar might get the raids going, but they are certainly not going to be strong enough to take the castles down and to get control of the sites anymore. And as long as we have control of the sites for TaToH and he's got the castles over there, he can very well just migrate whatever economy gets raided back home over to the sites, right, around the castle. So he's gonna be fine no matter what. And JorDan knows, JorDan realizes, and he calls the GG. So TaToH will take game number 4, and we have for game number 5 a tiebreaker over here with a full series between TaToH and JorDan. Well played, absolutely amazing from both these players. Let's go back and take a look at it. We know the civilization for the next game already from JorDan. He's got Vietnamese. And TaToH, on the other hand, I guess we are going to find out in a moment. Alright, the next game's coming up in one moment. Yes, let's go for it. Let's go for it. What do we get over here then? Archery range is going to be the opening from JorDan. Makes sense with Vietnamese for sure. Meanwhile, TaToH on the other hand's got Byzantines. He's going for the archery range opening over here as well. It's going to be 25% cheaper skirmishers for TaToH versus 20% extra HP on archer type units from JorDan. So cheaper versus tankier for these guys. Let's also resume music. Very nice quick walls over here from JorDan, preventing the villager from going down. And TaToH opened very strong with some aggression over there, but so far wasn't able to do much of anything. And JorDan, though, when getting the quick walls, runs straight into the TC from TaToH. So that's already going to be the first blood in the game. Second archer range on the way now for JorDan as well. And yeah, TaToH tried to make it into the weak villager over there, but couldn't do it. Prefer Vietnamese here, but it's super hard to count out the Byzantines. I agree about the Byzantines for sure. Amazing civilization. At this point in time, production is going to consist of archers for TaToH only, and he's got one skirmisher queued up still, so it's still going to be a few skirmishers added into the mix, just not high priority. And JorDan, on the other hand, JorDan's going for skirmishers as well right now. So he's got 2 archers, he's got 3 more queued up, he's got 2 skirmishers, while TaToH's got a few more archers, and he's only now going to start pumping the skirmishers. Now the thing is, because of the second archer range that JorDan's gone for compared to the single archer range from TaToH, no matter what it is that JorDan goes for, he should be able to outproduce TaToH significantly, and he's going to do so. He's got both archer ranges queued up right now with 4 additional units, 3 archers and 1 skirmisher, while TaToH, on the other hand, he's got only the 2 skirmishers coming in. There we are, down the south. A little bit of pressure coming in from TaToH. So far, he's been unable to do too much. They're in taking some HP out the villager up in the north, right? But I think... Yeah, JorDan already pulled the villager out. He already pulled the villager off back to the TC, right? Yeah, it's probably this woman. Little raids coming up from both players with TaToH's archers down the south, unable to do too much just yet. And then the archers from JorDan up in the north, unable to do too much just yet. We'll see TaToH finally add in the second archer range, whilst JorDan's been on 2 archer ranges for a while, and the game's going to stabilize for the time being. Dead even population. We'll see the players make a play for the castle age, as both are gathering resources to go up.
Điện hạ có gì sai bảo? Có tiểu nhân. Xin phụng mệnh.
Fantastic. The walls will be completely closed from JorDan in just a moment, while TaToH's not enclosing himself fully just yet. But he's got enough units over here to defend himself, and I think it's gonna be fine. Anyway, there's a pause though. By the looks of it, what's going on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they keep on going. You can see the face, the focus face from both the players once they go back to the game. Guess they're just on the way now from both as well. TaToH now losing the archers over here. It's fine. JorDan with the enemies, they do end up getting extra HP, of course, as we discussed earlier with the team bonus. That's going to be the case for archers. That's going to be the case also for skirmishers. And TaToH will pay pure resources for skirmishers only, but his archers are going to be nothing special. Even if Byzantines get fully upgraded arbalisters, that's still not going to be any better compared to what JorDan's got access to. So in that sense, and especially because JorDan also has, with the extra HP, a pretty good fighting chance even against skirmishers, puts TaToH in kind of an awkward spot, but we'll see who ends up coming out on top over here. With the castle age coming up a little bit earlier from JorDan, he might end up going for full production, I guess. Probably some forward siege, as he's right now sold the stone to go out to the castle age and does not have the means to go for extra TCs. He's sending villagers for, then it's going to be a siege workshop coming up. So he gets to the castle age, and the siege workshop should come up around here. There we go, he's got it. Nice. TaToH's gonna need to defend himself too, though. And he does have a second TC up in the north. This one makes sense because he's gonna secure goal access to this one, to this goal, with a TC. But definitely, yeah, there we go. I was going to suggest a defensive siege workshop from TaToH as well, and he does have one. What I'm very curious about, though, is did he know about the siege coming in from JorDan? He didn't have vision of it, but his game sense was tingling. And also, with all these crossbows roaming around and the fact that TaToH's gonna play for economy by going for extra TCs, he kind of needs the defensive siege anyway, so that he can hold on against the crosses alone. Of course, it's going to be a great bonus for him to be able to defend against the forward siege that's coming in from JorDan. There is enough stone to go for a third TC for TaToH, although he doesn't really have the wood for it just yet. But if you were to go for an extra TC, I guess I'd definitely like to see it perhaps around here, I guess. Maybe. Or for the bull player, rather. Yeah, I think the TC about here would be good. Oh crap, for the red player I meant. Anyway, you get the point. And TaToH's getting away with a much better engagement over here. Yeah, well, when JorDan's taken to full pressure, he cannot really afford to take those losses. He's got 2 mountains over here and basically no units to defend him with. That was an atrocious engagement for JorDan. Now he's behind the military and an economy, while TaToH already has a defensive siege out. He's got 1 mangonel left. He didn't have losing 1 to the 4 ones from JorDan, but still, he is ahead in both military and economy. So Tad is looking good still. He needs to break through the Byzantine buildings too. Yeah. Yeah. Good pressure coming in from TaToH, sorry, around JorDan's base. He cannot really do too much yet though. But I do like to see TaToH start to collect some stone. And that's going to be the case for JorDan as well. He's collecting some stone with the extra TC he's gone for. So this is the second TC from JorDan. He's gone for this so much later compared to the extra TCs from TaToH. And TaToH is not going for the TC on the left hand side, right next to the stone instead. So he's going to start collecting a little bit more heavily now. Third TC on the way from JorDan on the right hand side. Let's take a look. Seems like TaToH's gonna be able to break through. Eventually he'll come in. But JorDan really has a defensive mangonel coming back. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. So, once again, the position from JorDan is not quite as strong as it probably should have been at this stage already. Taking the engagement on the left-hand side and losing all those military units means that he does not really have too much momentum over here. He cannot really go far with the siege over here because he doesn't really have the means to protect it. And even if TaToH's been defending himself with defensive siege, for the most part, then he doesn't really have too many units to work with either. JorDan's the one who should be putting pressure. He is the one who chose to be aggressive. And we're making a kind of a switch over here to eco. JorDan is thus going to end up getting kind of the worst of both worlds. He cannot really make the aggression work. And with the 30C already up on the right hand side, it's just not going to have anywhere near enough resources to keep on investing into military to go for the pressure that he needs. Which means he's gonna keep on falling further behind in military, as he's not going to produce anymore, and he's not going to fall behind in economy any further than this, at the very least if he's able to keep all 3 TCs working. But he's just gonna be playing catch up. And TaToH has been going for some military himself. And that is so much better compared to anything that JorDan's got right now. Okay, 40C up for JorDan. He might be able to catch up. It will come at a cost, of course. Getting the TC up, plus paying for the extra villages just to catch up to TaToH's, who's already had a working economy for so much longer. It means that JorDan's on the back foot over here for sure. Now the question is then, what do we get next? What will happen in the next, I don't know, 5 minutes, perhaps? TaToH, with a 33% discount to go out to the Imperial Age, should be able to be the first one to click up, as he's had a much stronger working economy for the most part. If we take a look at gather economy time, TaToH's gotten well over 1 hour of extra gather economy time compared to JorDan, which should translate to about 800 to 1200 extra resources. He's got pressure coming in as JorDan doesn't really have the means to defend himself. That was a good shot though, the Mangonel against the Skirmishers over there, and the about phase over there that TaToH had with the Skirmishers ended up costing him this army. And this is a little bit of, this is a glimpse of hope for JorDan, but yeah, getting Skirmishers is certainly not going to be the best, right? Certainly not going to be what's going to bring you back into the game. Still going to be a step in the right direction though. Another castle for JorDan. Or the first castle for JorDan this game. in front of his base will prevent TaToH from pushing through the north. And JorDan's actually getting close to having enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age. TaToH, he's been producing military still in addition to economy as well, so he's not being able to save quite as much. But he's got enough stone to go for castle, and then some. If TaToH were to sell some of the resources he's got, he should be able to balance his economy and potentially get to the Imperial Age very soon. Now, instead, he's going to go for chain bar and armor for +2/+2 for cavalry. And he's got the first castle coming up over here. Definitely would I prefer for TaToH to potentially get a castle, let's say, up over here instead. Oops. Yeah, around this area or so, right? But it's been pretty difficult for him to hold on to the center to get control. So he's just going for the castle on the back and then on the right hand side. He does have some pressure coming up still with the knights, with the skirmishes, whatever army he's got, he's basically just sent forward, and we'll see if he can get away with this. JorDan's TC is exposed. He doesn't really have any way to defend himself over here. So this could go in favor of TaToH, but anyway, both players are already on their way to the Imperial Age. And JorDan did manage to click up a little bit earlier compared to TaToH. TaToH, however, is in 117 versus 88 villagers. So that's a 29 villager lead for Mr. TaToH. And he is ahead in military as well right now. He's going to start going for a lot of extra archer ranges, so we'll see. From Byzantines, potentially Arbalesters, he could go for skirmishes. They are cheaper and they're fully upgraded for Byzantines, but obviously that's not really a unit you want to push with. He has been going for knights though quite a bit. Nice. TC's going down very soon. TaToH's knights are just circling around the TC over here like vultures, waiting for the villagers. Meanwhile, JorDan does have some monks to bring over. Let's see. Okay. Good reaction from TaToH though. Instantly he removes the knights from there. And JorDan does not realize about the skirmishers taking the monks over there, so this could be really good for TaToH. As pop goes the weasel, JorDan's villagers come out. And TaToH's knights, they've just been waiting for this moment. That's gonna be 12 villagers going down to the knights, to the skirmishers. Well, TaToH is about to get to the Imperial Age himself. His villager lead is going to increase even further because of this. And even though JorDan manages to repair the TC, this is just... it's just a matter of time. The TC is going down, the villagers are going down, and this is just disaster for Mr. JorDan for sure. TaToH now finally gets to the Imperial Age, and all the villagers died. Up in the north, JorDan does have the first trebuchet coming out though. He's got the hill advantage over here, although TaToH's going for his own trebuchet. He's got chemistry on the way. At about the same time as JorDan's gone for chemistry himself, so we'll see bombard cannons coming in from JorDan very soon. And from TaToH, of course. Siege workshops already out for the red player. And TaToH's got enough resources to go for another castle, so he's got certainly enough resources to keep on repairing this one for the time being. We'll see plate bar and armor coming up, and even though TaToH's cavalry is not the best, given the unit choice from JorDan, cavalry is going to be fine. Once he gets plate bar and armor, we're gonna see the red player come in over here, just dive in straight into the trebuchet. He's coming in right now. We'll take the trebuchet down. We have a magnet over there. The magnet shot's not going to be strong enough, and good unit splits over here from TaToH, who is going to end up getting both siege weapons. And JorDan gets pushed away from the center, while TaToH, instead, he's got the hill advantage. He's got the second trebuchet coming out. Should be able to go after this castle. Once again, TaToH's got almost enough stone to go for a castle of his own, so the red player could very well end up going for one around here. Potentially this one over the left hand side instead. Perhaps if he ends up getting the castle down from the bull player, he could potentially go for one over here further forward, potentially ranging this TC as well. And you know what? It's looking really good for the red player. He even has the raids going on the back of JorDan's base, who's still struggling to get past 100 bills. Here we go. Beautiful. We have Cavalier right now for TaToH as well. Skirmishers. Cavalier, 3 trebuchets. It does not seem like there's a way for JorDan to hold on over here. The bombard cannon ends up getting pushed away by the Cavalier as well, so the trebuchet will stay up over here, and the castle will crumble in the end. So here comes the push from TaToH. It's just so strong, and JorDan does not want to keep on going anymore. Take a look. GG, well played, TaToH Beast. That's gonna be an incredible reaction from the guys coming up over here. Fantastic series over here in the end. TaToH 3 with a reverse sweep against JorDan. Let's go back and take a look at what we get here.
Indeed, boys, thank you so much. I'm here with TaToH, who doesn't seem to have much left in the tank after that one. TaToH, congratulations. You're going to the semi-finals next weekend. What an effort. I mean, what an incredible series.
Yeah, it has been exhausting, and I think it was super even. Every time I face JorDan in a tournament, it's to the decider. Usually he wins, but today was my turn.
Today was your turn. Look, you have been in top-notch form, right? Blasting through the group stages and then cruising into the quarterfinals to a huge contest with JorDan, obviously a team member, a friend, probably not the pairing you were wanting, but you know, what were you thinking heading into this matchup? Were you hoping to have a real contest like this?
Yeah, for sure. Like, as I said, like JorDan and me always like have super even games, and well, the series showed it as well. I didn't know what to expect because we have practiced. Probably JorDan is among the GL members who I praised the most with. So I know his style, he knows my style, and it was going to be like a lot of mind games.
Well, this was something that I was talking about with Nilly, actually. I want to ask you, on Northern Isles, Doubt was talking about how you practiced a lot on water, right, for that map. And then you both landed each other because I think both of you were sort of expecting the fight would be on water. Yes. So did both of you end up on the same level while trying to outmaneuver the other? I
guess so, because I expected JorDan, no, like, we usually never land there. And then I was, okay, I will try to surprise JorDan by landing. And he did the same. So it was quite a crazy match.
Well, they say the great minds think alike, TaToH, and you've certainly got one of them in your noggin. To tell you what, that you have shown us an incredible amount of tenacity getting through some hugely long games. Are you just exhausted, or could you go best of 7 now?
No. I'm done for today. I just want to chill a little bit.
Well, mate, you get a whole week to do that, of course, as we move into Age of Empires 4 next week. But we will be back with Age of Empires 2. And one of the blokes sitting in the semi-finals playing this game that we love is TaToH. Congratulations, TaToH. Looking forward to seeing you in the semis.
Thank you so much, really.